Welcome back, one and all, for Dreamworks Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your Dungeon Master, August Schmid, and I'm so excited we got the members of the Union here with us. How are we feeling, Union?
Pretty good. Genuinely, I thought Lincoln was the one who started singing that, so I was going to join him, but then I realized that it was the actual song, and I was going to be really embarrassed if I did.
I am slaughtered. You thought I was Freddie Mercury. That's like... Thank you.
Yeah, Lincoln just starts belting out the most beautiful rendition of Freddie Mercury's "We're the Champions" from Queen, and we all just dissolve into tears. Fade to black. Great session, gang.
Cheers.
Tears. True tears. Well, last we saw you guys, what a crazy session. Summoning the spirit of Easter into New York City, you guys created a big old color run pageant. Jack Frost, you spotted the Easter Bunny, while Megamind, RJ, Jim Lake Jr., Puss in Boots threw up different parade routes and colors and used creation spells to create these giant chocolate eggs. Talking to Easter Bunny, of course, Jack, you have rallied him, so to speak, to the cause of it is time that we gather as guardians. We got to start fixing the world, especially as Easter Bunny didn't know about Santa Claus being killed. And so there was something to be said of you guys talked to him, got him on board, but Alicia, as Jim Lake Jr., also figured out that there were other creatures that might have appeared thanks to the spirit of Easter and spring, right? This early spring equinox ritual. You guys rushed back to the parade, fought off against a large grouping of fae and different springtime creatures that do embody kind of the more, the word we're going to use is adult parts of spring, where it's hey, we're a family-friendly city here in New York, get out of here. But you did beat off a lot of these really bad fae, and of course RJ pulled a wild 180 and jammed himself in a giant chocolate egg, and no, that's not even a euphemism. RJ teleported to the Feywilds with Lucifer's feather, one of these anachronistic items, to make a deal with Queen Titania. RJ, fighting Queen Titania after a lot of back and forth with some fae about names and times and courts, made a deal with the Queen. In exchange for Lucifer's feather, RJ was given all 8 of the Seraphim wings, with also the addendum of RJ now has a bit of what we're going to call 3 wishes dealt to the Queen, where they can come. There's a bit of stipulation where it's never going to be anything that will harm himself or his friends, but he does have these rules, and if that wasn't enough to kind of lock him in, the Queen Titania did ask for his hand, and RJ did give her a ring, and so therefore is technically raccoon consort to Queen Titania. Go nuts. But of course, future king of the Fae right here. We do cut back, of course, you guys rushing into the park, Selenius doing whatever ritual they were all trying to accomplish. A giant chocolate egg was trapped and crashed into the park, splitting forth a giant chocolate dragon to destroy this area and bring forth truly chaotic, nature-filled wilds and sweet burnings and freezings. You lost me? Cool. Well, I hope I'm here.
You're back.
I'm back.
We caught the wild and sweet burnings.
And then you blipped back in, so we're good.
Sweet. It was like a split-second blip.
I mean, worst case scenario, I do record from my PC itself, so I got myself, hopefully. Also, there's my cam. I just realized you guys couldn't see me this whole time. Apologize for that. There we go. So, gang, you're all rushing to the park. This dragon used a big old breath attack. A lot of cold, frosty, burning damage raced across you. Everyone looking really low. Thankfully, no one is down. But the chocolate dragon did rear back, getting ready to attack once more, when out of the Ethereum, a small little for lack of a better word, raccoon popped out of the chocolate egg itself with a bit of magic to him now. This is where we're going to jump back into tonight's session. We're actually going to start tonight's session by re-rolling initiative, as with RJ appearing, it's very much that Dreamworks vibe of you're in this big fight and someone just walks up and everyone stops for like 10 seconds as everyone just turns. RJ tumbles out holding like the Pringles can, and then we immediately jump back into initiative. So go ahead, everyone will start by rolling initiative.
It would help if you rolled better, love.
Yeah, I'm complaining about this to a coworker today, that every time I roll initiative, it's crap.
Oh, don't worry. Mine's worse. Mine is worse.
Oof.
A nat 1.
No!
Wow.
Truly,
I'm
RJ,
distracted.
you did just show up in the middle of combat out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, we're fighting things? It does not great.
Is there any chance Dragon could give me an advantage?
Is there any way Dragon can give advantage? Unfortunately not. He is not that kind of beast.
Fair,
Alright.
fair enough. Fair.
Did anyone get 20 or higher?
22.
22 from Puss in Boots. All right.
Strong return to health. Strong return.
Anyone else get 20 or higher?
Oh, I got a 22.
Oh, Mega Man. All right, there we go. 2 people at least with 22s. Let's go next. 10 or higher. Yikes. Cool. We know RJ got the nat 1. Jim Lake Jr., what did you get?
I came out in a 9.
And finally, Jack Frost.
I also came out at a 9. Do you want? I'm happy to just go after Jim.
Okay.
Either way.
Sweet. Here
He'll
we
just
go.
Be able to do more.
Yes, it does mean hopefully doing more. The chocolate dragon and all of you looking horribly hurt. You see the Easter Bunny here with you on the map, and as well now being able to reveal is popping out of a tiny little chocolate here. RJ. Cool. As you all appear, first up in the order actually will be Puss in Boots with the higher dex, and then Megamind. Then we will have the Chocolate Dragon, followed by Jack Frost, Easter Bunny, or excuse me, Jim Lake Jr., Jack Frost, Easter Bunny. Right, that's how we decided the initiative there. And finally, RJ at the end. So, Puss in Boots.
I think we lost.
Yeah.
This is odd because I can hear and see you all perfectly. Let me see if there's something going on here.
Yeah, Shane, I think this needs to be one.
We need the bomb.
Let me try a quick connection check. All right. Well, while we're testing that connection, this connection test is brought to you by no one. We are not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, and we just do this for fun. All right. Yeah, this is really weird. All right.
Oh wait,
I feel like every...
I heard it
Oh,
all
he's
right
back.
from August.
I'm back?
Heard it all right.
So here's what's crazy.
Yeah.
You guys, I could hear and see all of you perfectly. I don't know why you couldn't see me. Holy crap!
I am the devil from the Bible.
Yikes.
Let's just hope he doesn't changes my character sheet while I'm looking.
Yeah, just a quick refresh here. Here we go, gang. As we begin into this combat, RJ is appearing out of this tiny little chocolate shell up on the map. The rest of you, of course, Jim Lake Jr. and Jack Frost here in the chocolate shell. EB and Puss in Boots a little back, and Megamind off to the side. Puss in Boots, you get to start our initiative tonight with, of course, Megamind on deck. How do you want to begin?
First off, I want to know who the lowest.
I have 3 HP.
That's pretty good.
I'm doing just fine.
I'm
I'm
not
sitting
great.
about half.
I've never been healthier.
This sounds bad. Who can we not afford to lose right now?
Who can we not afford to lose?
They just got engaged.
Elle, just for your information, since you weren't here last time, I did try to reason with this dragon, and it didn't work. So, it's...
Yeah, he's determined to eat us all.
Right.
Chocolate dipping. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I feel like I remember that he's not fire damage specifically, or maybe he
Now
was.
he's doubly weak to fire damage.
So
Right.
fire damage.
Okay. Was there that he wasn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's
Fire damage is fire.
Okay.
specifically...
You quadrupled the damage doing fire
That's
damage.
right. I
It-
quadrupled the fire damage because I'm
Mhm.
standing next to him.
It's
So if you can fire this guy,
he's
still melt.
vulnerable to fire damage, but Jim Lake Jr. gets to quad that damage because of the aura of like, hey, you're weak. Well, get ready to taste it again.
Delicious.
Okay.
Delicious chocolate.
You said that you casted beans. Are those still up, or did they get dispelled?
I am going to allow, because of how Spirit Guardians works, that you can still have Spirit Guardians up.
Great. So still concentration. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds at a 2nd level on Megamind.
A 2nd level Cure Wounds on Megamind? Hell yeah.
While those dice are rolled,
I have 0.
I can get to them, right?
Yes, I believe so. I was just
Yeah, I
checking.
can-
Yeah, you can go 5, 10, 15, 20. Half of your movement gets you to Megamind for Cure Wounds.
Then is my other half to go back to try and encapsulate as much of the party as I can in my Spirit Guardians.
Sweet. If you go 5, 10, 15, 20, or 20, your other half, to try to get everyone close, just give me a quick, we're going to call it an acrobatics check to vault over the, like, chocolate shell wall that's in your way. Because, like, random Megamind's fine, but you're going to be having to vault a bit into the shell basin. But that way, you're almost everyone's in your Spirit Guardians, that aura, and the dragon is just barely in the aura as well.
Shane, you heal for 18 hit points.
Whew!
Thank you.
And my dice is now rolling for my acrobatics.
Sweet.
However, as we know it does, it takes a second.
This rolling break is brought to you again by nothing. We're not sponsored once again. This is just a fun little break time that we use to toot our own proverbial horns. Yeah.
Brought to you by Flat.
11.
Trust. You still do archery, right?
But that's, yeah, my whole build is...
Okay. Would you... So, if you wouldn't mind waiting until the end, I could give you some flaming arrows.
Ooh. Could be helpful.
I'm not actually. That works out because my turn around, I change what I'm doing, but I wasn't planning on attacking anyways, so I'll just do that thing. You give me arrows, and then I'll attack.
Cool. Sounds good.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
And I also just put the initiative tracker in the chat for you guys. Puss in Boots, and 11 is barely enough. Again, it's not terrible. You just can't get below a DC 10. So Puss in Boots, you vault. Your paw kind of stumbles into the chocolate, but you do encapsulate. And I will make a Wisdom saving throw for the chocolate dragon real quick. Synthetic 23, he does pass, so he will take half radiant damage. Go ahead and roll that 3d8 and just send it in the chat once you got it. Because at the end of your turn, Puss in Boots, again, some pretty fun stuff. The dragon is going to now take a legendary action. Has yet to do this. He is going to every creature within 20 feet. I need to let's check a measurement thing real quick on the map with our dragon. Here we go. From the dragon's base, we need to check 20 feet.
Can I insight if this is a spell?
Go ahead. Yeah, give me. We'll call an Arcana check. 20 feet from the dragon. That's everyone except Megamind.
I don't think it's a spell.
Yeah,
It's probably your thing.
it might just
Or
be.
it's him taking off.
Who knows?
I rolled.
The dragon will use a legendary action. You watch the small motes of caramel inside the dragon begin to pulsate with Fey magic. I need everyone except Megamind to make a Constitution saving throw.
Woohoo!
Awesome.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Oh, everyone gets close. Oh no, you're not close to me. No.
Dragon, our dragon, is the only one that gets the +4 from Jim Lake Jr.
Okay, dragon
Oh
get.
wait, that's the wrong roll. My bad.
Ooh, dragon does need that because. Oh, we both got a 6. That's cute. Dragon and I both get 6.
Nat.
Nat 20 from Jim. Yo, Jim Lake Jr., your eyes are so accustomed now to bright lights. The caramel motes of star begin to explode in light, shedding that amber caramel gooey light everywhere. Jim, you use daylight and poof, block your line of sight. Everyone who got below, and this is what's crazy, a DC 18 is blinded.
Ooh,
Bummer, dude.
rude.
So it sounds like I think Jim Lake Jr. is the only one that beat it. Let's double check that. Yes. So, but Megamind, you were not in the radius, so you are fine. But that is everyone else. Cool. That is the dragon's big old legendary action. Jim Lake Jr., you are on deck here. Megamind, that is your turn with Jim on deck after the dragon. Megamind, as the caramel starts to explode everywhere, what do you want to do?
Cool. I thought I do.
I know, right?
How did I launch the car before? Did I use like a crossbow, a little gun thing?
For washing the car, or
The when I launched it at
The truck arrow.
the truck arrow, that was a I believe just a crossbow, the adventuring reflavored as like when your drones takes a shot. So it's just that ranged attack with a D10 dex damage, I think.
Cool. Yeah. So I remember still having one of the gum gums
Yeah.
in cube form,
He does.
and so I want to launch that above the dragon,
Oh no. Go.
and then try and like get it wet.
Here's what I'll ask, Megamind. We're gonna call this a double kind of thing. You're comboing a ranged attack shot, whereas you're not shooting to damage the dragon, but you're trying to hit that AC to get the gum on top of it. And we're gonna call it also a sleight of hand along with it to like attach like a vial of water or like a sponge to the outside so when it hits the side of the dragon. So go ahead, make those in whatever order you want, but tell me which one you made first.
Okay. I'm looking to do the regular just attack first.
Okay.
And that's a nat 20.
Woo! I will allow this to deal damage. I was gonna say it couldn't because of like it's more the thing. I will allow this to deal a D10 plus Dex of crossbolt damage. Oh well, on a crit, yeah, 2d10 plus Dex.
8.
Oh.
And yeah, basically the goal is to have it come out of whatever, and since it's made of rock, just to like fall on top of and then bring it to the ground.
Yeah. I love it. Go ahead.
18 plus 6, so 24 for the sleight of hand.
And 24 beats the DC 14. Megamind, you straight up in the middle of combat duct tape a wet sponge to the end of an arrow and stab an arrow into this cube, lock it into a crossbolt, attach it to your drone, flies over, and as the dragon turns, boom! An exploding gum-gum. Again, a large troll just appears inside the maw of this dragon. The second this gum-gum hits open light, it immediately turns to stone. And I'm going to roll 8d10 bludgeoning damage as you shot the equivalent of a catapult rock into this dragon's mouth.
Oh, good. I thought we were going to have to deal with the gum-gum.
Oh, no. Again, Jim Lake Jr. is the half troll, half human. Most trolls, sunlight auto turns them to stone. It's why Morgana made that blanket of darkness over Arcadia. Here we go. That is 39 points of bludgeoning damage to the dragon. I will let you know, it looks like it may have only been, out of the 39, some of it may have not been magical, if that makes sense. Because this is just an exploding statue. But this gum-gum, you see immediately, Megamind, your drone fires it into the mouth, the gum-gum explodes into life. I live to serve! Over! And just explodes into rock and dust as he dies a truly ignominious death in the hands of a chocolate dragon's mouth. But insane stuff, and I will let you know, it would have been 4d10. I doubled the dice for the crit, is how I flavored that too.
Okay. I didn't know if I still needed to roll whatever you had said earlier.
No, that hit it. Again, you nat 20 to get it into the dragon, and you got the sleight of hand to get the water to, crush into the cube at the right time.
Neato.
That's insane. Megamind, you still have a bonus action, which is crazy.
Yes, I do. What can I with it? Bonus action. I'm out of Vortex. I am going to just cast myself a lovely second level healing word on myself.
Smart. Bonus action spell. Megamind, you heal up yourself. The spirit guardians, Puss and his 9 lives, ripping into the dragon. Megamind shock pulls a statue in its mouth. That will make the chocolate dragon's turn. As the chocolate dragon is looking horrifyingly melted and bloodied, and one might even say it's on death's door. But
One could say it's melted.
one
It's
might
about
even
to
say
take some fire damage.
it is its turn. So we'll start with Jim Lake Jr. Go ahead and roll the ambient fire damage it has to take. Just being there.
Question about that. I seem to remember that the reason I am right up close and personal with the dragon is because I cast Searing Smite and lit it on fire.
Oh, you're right. You did
that
light it
correct?
on fire. That is correct.
Okay. Which means, I don't remember at what level I cast Searing Smite, but I think it was just first level. So.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was first level.
Alright, well, that's 9 that I rolled.
For
Does that double and then double again?
It doubles and doubles again. So 9
36.
times 4 to 36.
Thank you.
Yikes. The dragon is so close. So close. So close. So...
Well, then it takes the damage from the aura, right?
Two?
That was part of
Wait,
its
this dragon is
fire
what?
and aura. That was the aura and the searing smite. That's what we just rolled for.
Wait,
What
and
about
the
them?
series fight, or was that just one of them?
Well, because the aura does the d6 and the searing smite for the extra
Oh, okay.
fire. Yeah.
It's also interesting.
Yes,
Okay.
we made sure to do it right. It is going to be. I need to roll a d6 at the start of the dragon's turn. That is a 5. You watch the dragon weapon gets its breath back, and here's what's interesting. Like with last time, you feel the air get frigid and cold, but the dragon is breathing. You watch its neck, which is half melted, I should also point out. It leers its neck down, pointing at its own body, and is going to frost breath its own body.
Smart dragon.
So this is all going to be cold. That is... Whew, that's pretty high. The dragon breathes chocolatey, frosty magic all along its body, and you watch its body heals. It is currently just barely hurt. Or it should hurt, just barely bloodied, as it heals itself with its breath weapon.
Nerdy.
Question.
Yes, Megamind.
Does Spirit Guardians initiate at
At
the
the
start of
beginning
a
of the
turn
turn.
or at the end of a turn?
He's so right.
Dude, there's no way this guy isn't dead. I'm
So
sorry.
Ah.
It was cool, but it wasn't that cool.
The creatures have... when
I
the
was gonna
creature...
ask before you started your healing spiel, but
When the
then
creatures enters the Spirit Guardian, or when it starts its turn there.
Thanks, Shade.
The minimum amount of damage versus what he had before he tried to heal himself is not gonna cut it. Jim Lake Jr. rushes forward, sword of daylight, burning bright. You cut through this dragon as all of you watch. Puss in Boots' 9 lives. Ha ha! And they're doing all these intricate flips and kicks and pushing each other up into position. The dragon does not heal itself for 80 points. It dies, gang.
Yeah.
Ah!
Throw something actually
say-
hard at us.
He really melted
Can
my
I still do like cool things?
Hey guys, can I do my cool thing first? Hey, that's the game. I totally forgot about ambient fire and spirit damage. I was like, okay, he'll probably get to his turn, and nope.
No turn for you.
Sorry, August.
Hey,
August, are you ready?
you'll love
Play
to
a
see
spirit
it.
Again?
Go for it.
Cry.
Skunk.
Cry. Hey, you know, that's how it goes sometimes.
Bonk indeed.
Bonk indeed. As Megamind blasting with a catapult, Jack Frost, arrow after arrow, RJ returning victorious. We come out of
RJ's
initiative.
just there.
RJ's. Hey, you're not just there. You just cut out so much of this campaign by saying, I'm gonna
Don't
crawl
worry about
into a wormhole. Insane. Yeah, let's head out of the battle map. And as we come out of initiative, you guys are looking hurt, but still up. Megamind healing yourself there with some big old healing words. And for the rest of the party, yeah, RJ looks fine because you've been having adventures in Fairyland, my guy. But for everyone else, as you come out of initiative, what are you all doing?
I'm gonna go up to the Easter Bunny, EB, and I'm gonna hand him a piece of paper and a pencil. Or I'm gonna be like, okay, list me exactly everything that we need to know to keep this from ever happening again. Plus any other people that might want to interrupt Easter.
No,
Just
I think
make
this
me a
celebrates
list. What can we-
fun, guys. Like if
Cold
we did this,
iron. We got what are the other ones? Just list them off.
You see, because all of you, I will say, all of your blind effect does fade. It only lasted a round. It wasn't like a crazy thing. But you all blink out. Megamind immediately. EB's like, right now the big thing, of course, is cold iron. Usually, you're gonna get that when you interlace, metal baskets is usually what I recommend for people. Metal baskets, you put the eggs inside. You see, he points to the chocolate egg sculptures like, hey, these are great, but just like you need to egg safely, right? Like you don't want to just like egg all over. There is like decorum. Usually, the larger the symbol and effigy of what we would call spring spirits, the bigger things can get. And you see, he points again. This chocolate egg was not like a normal or like a big size like this. The Fae did make it bigger, but he's like, you just gotta like be safe, like whenever you're going out, make sure you're just friends don't let friends make giant monolithic chocolate eggs without surrounding them in an iron gate. And you see he like looks at Jim. It's not your fault. Like most people, it happens more often than you think. That's why I take my job very seriously when I go around.
Only.
He's like, yeah.
I just make a list and then I send it off to Minion on preparations for next time.
Yes.
You prefer chicken eggs or ostrich eggs?
You see, he goes, now, that's an interesting question. Normally, as long as it's an unfertilized egg, it usually is pretty good. I love smaller chick eggs. They make fun for hiding. It's great for kids, that sense of wonder, sense of hope for the colors to find them. Ostrich, they're huge, right? I mean, the bigger the egg, you got to be careful. I have like personal assistants that are big eggs, but we've inscribed them with warding glyphs so they can't be used ritualistically. But yeah, cold iron, holy. Actually, a big one most people don't think about is mint. Mint is really it's like an allergen to a lot of spring creatures. They don't love mint, but it can be really handy. It's why you'll find like chocolate mints. Chocolate mints are a big thing. And so yeah, Megamind, you easily take all this down, get it to Minion, and the word gets spread out pretty quick while you guys are here in the park. I will say, after a time, some chicken-born construction crews are also eventually making their way here, and you see they're starting to like cut down the chocolate egg, like using soldering irons, and they like turn to you guys and you're like, hey, it's still Easter, we gotta feed them something. And so you see they're like repurposing this shell and being like, all right, candy. But yeah.
I have a question for the rabbit.
See, the rabbit looks at you. EB's like, yo, what's up?
What is your stance on caviar? Because they are eggs. But has anyone ever tried?
You see, he goes, honestly, it's fish egg, right, mate? They're not really hard shell. And that's part of my spring thing is seasons aren't the same in the water. They're very wet. They really rely more on like seasons of like growth and change. It sometimes they coincide. My stuff is like plant growth and spring and the families bringing them together. That kind of stuff.
So
No.
snakes.
And Pussy, yeah, RJ.
Are you supposed to do anything to the eggs before you paint them and hide them?
In the midst of this, I'm gonna heal me and Puss for 20 points each with my armor.
I was gonna say Puss and Jim were both at like 7 and 9 hit points. So you guys take that, like, here's some healing words here. You see EB actually says, with the eggs, you can do a lot. Normally, what I usually suggest is like repurposing old shells. You can actually crack the bottom, take the egg, use it to make like food for people. That's a big part of spring, right? Is like growth and change and turning over that new leaf. So like, make an egg casserole, send it to your friends. But you can actually hard boil them and like paint them and then send them off, because then it's that like, hey, it's colorful. The big thing, and I can't stress it enough, make a list where you hide them. I have a list for every egg I've ever hidden, and it's just a good quality to check up on them every at least day, because after 2 days they're not going to find them, and at that point you're just dealing with a stink. It's not a good sign.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Not raw eggs. I thought it was weird to be hiding raw eggs.
Yeah, no.
You hid raw eggs?
No, but then
I
like, you are
still
dealing
won't
with
find
stinky
them.
eggs, but not them placed
I
eggs.
hid them in very obvious places.
RJ,
Like,
no!
EB is going to
like,
cast locate
the
object
peanut
on
butter
raw
on the
eggs, and you see he just
toilet
goes,
bowl,
there are exactly
or
58 raw eggs in a 200-yard radius of this location. I'll be back. And you see he just runs off, and within 2 minutes comes back with a bunch of eggs. He's like, right, now I'm going to give it, hands it to a chicken boy. Take these to a local kitchen, get them cooked up. It shouldn't have been too long. I think they're okay, but yeah, let's get these fed.
Around for a while.
Anyways.
Again,
so,
I ask if we are
what were we doing again? Why did we need the Easter Bunny?
So we needed to go to visit the North Pole to see Sandman, and to eventually go to Tatiana in the Fey Realm.
Okay. Yeah, I'd really like to see her again.
Barter again? Is that where you went?
Pardon?
Wait. Yeah. Oh. By the way, guys, I'm sorry.
Holy crap, is that a wedding ring?
I see. RJ, RJ, that's the biggest rock I've seen.
Well, that thing an egg.
Why did you get to get married first?
Well, you snooze, you lose.
Honestly, it surprised me. I thought Megamind would get married.
No, yeah. When you meet the right person, you just kind of click.
I'm
You know, when you know, you know.
I am literally engaged.
The idea of everyone just going like, "You got married? What?"
Look, like it was. Time passes differently in some of those other places. I'm
Okay, but you saw Tatiana.
okay.
Start
Without
from
you,
the
but
beginning.
it's cool.
Yeah. So, I forget now. What were we looking for with her?
RJ.
The wings.
Okay.
The baby
Okay.
wings.
That's what it was. Okay, that's right. I'm in charge of dinner tonight. We're doing wings, right? You want bone in or bone?
RJ, do you reveal the wings?
Jim is like this close to laying hands on this chicken.
Okay, let's go somewhere where
Just
we
looks
can,
over to Jim and Megamind like,
like
"Can I get him
reveal
now?
some things. Okay, follow
It's been
me.
enough time, right?"
Can we like get in the car?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we could do like a pocket dimension style thing.
I was gonna say, yeah, you guys could head back to the guild hall to like have this in that like more private location back at your adventuring hall.
We do have a lead-lined room, correct?
I think it's more like when you guys dropped so much money at the beginning of the campaign to build this building, you made sure to be like, hey, we want, again, Minion and Megamind to outfit it with technology to ward. We're going to make sure that Chickenborn know the right, like, archaic wards and signs and sigils. Like, the whole building is actually pretty well warded from, like, being scryed upon, looked inside. It's just, like, not immune to assassins pretending to be Union members.
Right. And we have the Enochian amulets, so it's not
Okay.
like people can just see us.
Exactly.
So I showed up in the Feywild, and like I wandered around a bit. A fairy showed me how to get to the Sealy Fey Court, and I showed up, and my exploits have been known long and far, and I was met by the Queen of the Fae, and she was so impressed with me and my stature and good looks and devilish charm that she offered me a dowry.
Interesting.
All of the wings.
I'm rolling insight check.
Cool. I'm gonna insight.
I will
That's
say
right.
we're going to do a group insight versus RJ's deception. I'm going to allow, actually, RJ, part of your deception right now, you're going to have advantage on your deception because the Fey pact you've made it's hard to denote the truth in Fey pacts. You're doing exactly what leads into Fey magic of like, well, I'm not telling you the whole lie, but I'm not telling you the whole truth. but it is a party insight where everyone has a chance to be like, well, we know this has got to be false.
Anyways. So, who rolled high? Who rolled the highest?
I think just Jack.
I rolled pretty low.
Yeah. So,
Oh no.
no strings attached. The Queen of the Fae proposed to me, and as part of her dowry, gave me all of the wings we were looking for, and I gave her the feather of the one bad guy, like whoever he was. It didn't seem very important, and so I gave her the feather.
Saying
as a
that,
wedding
can we
gift.
roll our insight checks again?
Yes. That like, wait a second.
Get advantage from how bad that lie is.
What I think is this. I think from the previous check, what's happening right now is all of you know, like, RJ may not be telling the whole truth, but very much in that, like, D&D kind of way, it's like, well, until there's a lot of big stuff, you won't know what the whole truth is, but I think all of you know it's like, there was a cost. And at least part of the cost right now was the feather. Like, you're realizing, like, maybe there was, again, RJ does have a wedding ring, like, so it's this odd, like, okay, whatever's really happening, there was a cost and the feather was part of it. But, and I will say, RJ, you can pull out the Pringle can and show, and, like, pull out some of the feathers. These are angelic wings. They
So
look,
I got all of them.
they are, and there's 8.
I got all 8 pairs.
Cool.
Nice.
I have a feeling that we should probably ask that Gabe dude if he could get some memories off of these, but also if we could get some feathers from every single one of them and turn them into modes of power. That would
Now,
be
hear
very
me out. Hear me out. We attach them all to RJ, and he becomes a seraphim. With all the different wings.
This
Becomes new
horrifying
god.
raccoon, the
Sure,
whole be not afraid meme of this raccoon surrounded in light and feathers. Yeah.
Sure. After we get the modes of power from the feathers and Gabe gets some stuff from them, sure, we can sew them to your back.
Just full sewing kit, like, so actually what I'll ask here,
Oh,
Megamind, Megamind,
No
if you want to
anesthesia.
make me an Arcanotech check on the wings real quick, because that's not a bad plan of, like, if we can figure out, like, how to get the memories out of it, maybe turn some of the feathers into modes of power, and then we can, yeah, and then we have them.
At least Raphael's.
At least Raphael. So go ahead and make that check to do some of that initial, like, Megamind's gonna run a diagnostics is basically what this check is.
If it doesn't work now, I'm probably gonna take a nap and then try again when I'm actually don't feel like I'm dying.
That's fair. Again,
We can have Tooth. Like, the whole plan was to take it to Tooth to have her look at the memories, so don't worry about that part.
Yeah,
Unless
but
we can no longer go to her. Unless we
about
can
getting the I mean, we still need to see if the invasion is happening. I threw that up in Gabe chat.
Yeah, I just saw that.
there's a. Oh, we'll get to that actually in just a second.
Oh yeah, and far, far away. Apparently, we could go help liberate it. Raise it to
And,
the ground.
If we help liberate it, then King or Arthur is offering items, any mythical items or any kind of reward, and I'm afraid that somebody else is going to find some or choose a reward and then see a really cool item that will lead them to
Kane?
our Waldo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say.
which we don't want.
We'll start with your 6 Arcana. So Megamind, I think
Yeah.
you called it even before the roll. Like, you're so exhausted. You just fought a bunch of Fae and dragons, and so Megamind, on a 6, it's not bad, but you know it's too early to tell, right? Your initial diagnostics are, these are feathers. This is magic. This is great. Like
I'm going to bed.
But I think it's what Jack Frost said. Tooth's whole thing is divining memories from pieces of people. Again, teeth are her vibe, but you know, like, hair, fingernails, wings, like, there's no, like, set formula for how she does it. And so, you know, like...
sleep in the tunnel?
Mm-hmm. On a 6, though, you are getting the impression, though, Megamind, these wings are truly, though, I don't want to call them generic. You're realizing you're not finding a lot of strong readings from the Seraph. And I think it's that odd, like, take fresh eyes, but on a 6, it's that, like, hey, like, this is Raphael's wing. Like, it's one of those, like, an identify spell would tell you, these wings belong to the angel Raphael. But it's odd because, like, there is not power radiating from it. This thing is not, like, juiced. It seems like just a pair of wings. Like, even statistically, they seem so similar to the rest of the 7. But again, it's been a long day. And so you might need to look at it with fresh eyes. For the rest of the party, I will kind of give the meta, what the other parties have said in the discussion board. You guys know that the Peacekeepers did just interrogate the assassin that you guys sent over. The Peacekeepers, the assassin you sent over, fun fact, is the nephew of one of Black Sun's high heads. An orc by the name of Cloudrin, this, like, insane dude who wears armor pieces coated in blood of all his victims. It was his nephew was the assassin that you sent to be interrogated. Basically, it was a nat 20 from Valka using the Blood Hunter feature, the Grim Psychometry, thank you. Thank you from our studio audience. But Grim Psychometry is that, like, where Valka was able to see all of those leaders of Black Sun, and that the leaders of Black Sun are sending out hits faster and faster. For example, the assassins that went after you guys are the first. Apparently, Pitch, who is inhabiting this Hordak clone body, says he wants people sent every 2 days. And I will let you know, that means day 2 is tomorrow. Because he said, again, verbatim, nothing is more of a threat to the glorious Black Sun than those heroes. Again, Pitch is scared of you guys, and he is going to keep sending encounters, it sounds like. But that was just what the Peacekeepers found. Arthur is proposing... It's not a crossover. It's not like the Disney finale. We're not doing everyone in one. Basically, what the Dragon Warriors are proposing is offering a one-shot, kind of like what you guys did with the Enochian Amulets and Mordred Manor, that whole Halloween kind of vibe, is if everyone pitches in or chooses to, helping take out a major objective in Charming's court or in the castle, or like just help take down a bad guy. And Arthur is going to offer, for money, you name your price. And I should say, this is player specific. This is not as a group. It's as a player. If you want money, you name a figure. Arthur will figure out how to match it. If you want power, it's you name a magic item or magic itself, and he'll figure out how to grant it. And respect or fame, he's offering positions in his court, titles of knight, lord, lynch, and all that stuff. Because it's a very much... That party, they get we're all busy, but it's like, if you're willing to do this kind of one-shot, you know, asking Gabriel to help teleport you over. Again, you guys actually don't even need Gabriel. With Easter Bunny now here, he has his, basically, plane shift spells where he can just thump the ground and take you anywhere. Like, he's pretty insane as a NPC, but it's up to you guys. And so these are the messages you would be getting this night, you know, at the close of this parade, and, like, getting these invasions.
Okay. I think we should sleep on it.
That sounds like a fabulous plan. Yes?
How depressing is the North Pole right now with Santa being dead?
I mean, Tooth's there.
Like,
And I don't think that Pitch could send people to the North Pole. Or at least he wouldn't know that we were there, so we might buy ourselves one extra day of respite.
Sandman and Tooth have definitely, like, warded up the North Pole again from Pitch. Like, they've figured out that.
Nice.
I don't want to just abandon New York, though, because
Because there is a parent invasion,
Yeah.
which I don't
There
have
may
any
or may not
sending
be
spells, so I can't ask anybody over there currently. So
Well,
sleep is
I mean, I hate
basically what we need, but we could.
to recommend splitting up, but I could just take the wings and go to Tooth myself. If EB wants to run with me, it could be quick.
I wanna go.
We're just grabbing info. We don't need to be there for very long.
Sending.
I'll take a feather from each of them.
Okay. Yeah. So if like Jack Frost and RJ and the Easter Bunny do a quick like let's run to the North Pole, because then that leaves Puss in Boots, Megamind, and Jim Leg Jr. in New York, so you're not just leaving it unprotected. And I will say, with the idea of this like one shot that the Dragon Warriors are proposing, it is something that would be accomplishable in quick time. Like I, as a dungeon master, would let you know, like I'm not gonna pull like a well because you were helping and far, far away. New York just got invaded. Like if you choose the one shot, it's going to happen pretty congruent with timeline. It's not gonna be like and we had to spend 5 months going there or back. But there is something to be said of in real time is there's a lot you guys are trying to accomplish, and it's a one shot before we take our hiatus over the summer, right? Like it's that like, oh yeah, do we want to like go to far, far away and do this? But you guys are uniquely outfitted. I forgot to tell you, the reason Artie reached out to you guys, every party had a specific like purpose or like goal in mind. Artie is also friends with the Frozen Blood and has started meeting these adventuring union parties. His goal or the vibe of that party is if anyone could do it, the founding members of the union could in theory incite revolution and inspire all of the adventuring parties and unions in far, far away to rise up as one swelling army to march, right? Like, imagine every adventuring party, every D&D player in this country suddenly goes, yeah, we're stronger together. Let's take down a tyrant, right? Like, that was the idea of, hey, that's when we asked out, he didn't send it there because he didn't want to, like, put all, it would have been such a long message, but the idea of, hey, the union is aptly named of you guys know the Frozen Blood and other big adventuring parties to unionize them in far, far away. But again, we can sleep on it, or, you know, the idea of, like, in-game starting to sleep. What I would ask for you all is, as we begin, or as we get ready to send EB, Jack, and RJ off, is there anything you guys want to do before they head to the North Pole? You know it should be pretty fast. Like, it's not going to be, like, some crazy, like, oh, no, we're, like, losing time and we have to, like, wait for XYZ. It's that, like, kind of that role play of, like, before they go, what do you guys want to do together as a party?
Assassin precautions.
Yeah, that's a solid plan.
I'm gonna lead Dragon in New York City and like have him sleep in one of your rooms. So whoever would benefit most from Dragon.
So an assassin walks up to a bed, unveils the comforter, and this dragon just pops out of the bed. Yeah.
I'll give my whistle to Puss in Boots. Be like, I know you don't like dogs, but here you go.
Yes.
I mean, if we all just stay in the same room,
I'll steal it back if you do anything with it. If you don't give it back, I'll still get it back.
Jim was perfectly fine, and if Puss and I were the ones who got absolutely boned.
It's true.
So I'm sitting pretty.
Yeah.
So if we just move next to each other, and then...
Actually, yeah, if we all camp out in the same room, that's a solid plan.
If you all take the same room, and I will say, you can put the city on what we would call high alert. The idea of like, hey, let's increase guards, let's increase a watch, let's double check the members of the union, like, let's see who's actually staying here, like, do that background of like, hey, what's your name, who told you about this union, like, kind of run the dues. What I'll say then is...
Then we'd let everybody know it was a 2-day schedule, so they might continue showing up every 2 days.
It's one of those things where, yeah, the peacekeepers wanted to make sure everyone was aware, but they didn't want to, like, social media blasts that like we know what's going on, because the idea is hopefully if more people come, now we're ready. It's not surprise attacks or assassins. It's but we're ready and we can capture more people and do more of that stuff.
True story.
Cool. Yes, Megamind.
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were raising your hand for that. Like just
No, I was just stretching.
All right. Sorry. Hey. In which case, what we'll do is, yeah, Jim Lake Jr., Puss in Boots, and Megamind, you all get ready for the night. Puss has the whistle. Dragon's gonna be in this room again. Just that, like, stay ready, stay vigilant.
And I'm gonna turn Dragon into a fire dragon so that when he's fighting, he'll just synergize with Jim better.
Yes, that idea of extra fire damage to your fire damage. Yeah, Megamind.
If I could give myself in the future the help action by just taking all of these things and then putting them through like a scanning thing overnight.
Actually, yeah, Megamind, go ahead and make me. We'll call it a perception check of like. Just the idea of, like, starting to run the numbers. So it's not true arcane or technology yet. It's the idea of, like, let's just do the, like, hey, run these and refine them overnight so we have the HD version in the morning kind of vibe.
Just, like, put them in the scanner so that overnight they can be like, oh, yeah, like, we have some information that I can glean stuff off of.
Yeah. So you put the feathers...
I got a 19.
Excellent. You know, it's like these are gonna run pretty well through the night, and I'll even say you have the like backups of even if like there's a power loss or if you guys have to split and run, the information will still be sent to your Hollow Watch, so you have the like data pad. We will then cut as the New York City after an Easter celebration prepares for sleep. We're going to cut to Jack Frost and RJ and the Easter Bunny.
Nerds.
Easter Bunny is standing outside in this park area. He looks at you two. He's like, right, now, before we head out, are either of you two seasick, motion sick?
I might be on the naughty list. Would that be a problem?
You see EB just goes, me too. Thump, thump, hits the ground. I need both of you to make me dexterity saving throws as the ground just disappears from your feet.
Wait, I rolled it and then I realized I can fly. Can I just, like, have the...
Go
like,
ahead.
The Roadrunner moment where I look down and then I drop?
For sure. For sure. And I think, RJ, you have enough frame of mind to, like, hop on Jack's shoulder that, like, well, I'm not just going to slip inside. So you both easily zip on after the Easter Bunny and travel through these strange burrows and warrens, roots and rock. Every so often you see little patches of sunlight and then patches of reddish moonlight. And as you're going through, realizing you are passing both through this world and many others at the same time. Eventually, the path narrows and spills out. And both you with that great check, RJ and Jack Frost, just using your innate flying abilities, soar out into a frozen wasteland. For miles around, there is nothing but ice and cliff, tundra of inhospitable conditions. But standing before you, rising many miles high, beautiful crystalline ice sculpture palace, very much in a medieval Russian architectural design, is Santa's workshop. Now, RJ did correctly call it with the bit earlier. You see that Ice and Frost have built up along some of the towers, places you think that may, at some points, would have been open to reindeer flying through, elves and yetis that hustle and bustle and bring in crates of goods to create toys for children, which are now empty. The doors boarded up, magically reinforced with ice and stone. you see EB, who doesn't look too cold. You see he's got that thick fur coat. But RJ, actually, for one of the first times since not having the Ring of Warm, you kind of feel the chill a little bit.
My intent with the whole Ring of Warmth bit was for that to be my wedding ring.
Oh,
kind of like keeping the warmth of the Sealy Fae with me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
See, yeah, she very much took that as, oh, thank you for the wedding
rude.
gift. This is my ring.
Rude.
Yeah, well, it was that like, oh, yeah, you are offering a ring, so let me offer, will you give me your hand? And just tried to, like, yoink it.
Does hers not function as a Ring of Warmth?
Hers functions as it's like a ring of pact. It's, you know that this bond is stuck inside of it.
It also probably gives warm.
It's maybe a little warm. It's like the Ring of Warm is one of those things where it's like you can survive up to -40 Fahrenheit. This is like, okay, it's like a really good jacket, but you're definitely like, oh yeah, it's a little chilly. As you all see the grand towering workshop before you, EB turns. Oh, here we are. Can't say it looks good, but you sure they're inside? And you see he looks at you, Jack, as he's trying to like peer through some of the windows, even from this distance.
Last I left them, it's only been, what, a month?
A month?
Since I left to rejoin.
Yeah. You all head forward. Jack, it's much easier now that you can fly. Again, the last time you left here, you were actually given that, like, what we would call, like, the fly spell, where your friends cast this to you and, like, shunted you through a high window. But you can fly upwards in through this high balcony that you know is just high enough that, like, any creature that would be approaching this tower would have to know it was here. EB is going to take the less direct route and kind of tamp his foot down and just disappear into the snow, appearing up on the balcony with you guys. It's much later at night. You think it's at, like, it would be what we could call 3 a.m. here. But as you enter in, you do immediately walk in and feel a sense of temperature change for the warmer, as if this is a place where people are currently. It still feels very empty. Yeah.
And what? Just
can
for
I
clarification? When I left, there weren't a whole bunch of like elves still here. It was just Tooth and Sandman, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So it being empty isn't a red flag to me then.
Can I immediately sneak off and try to find the naughty and nice list?
For sure, RJ. That, like, hey, I gotta know.
I'm immediately invisible.
You gotta know, right? It's not like, is this where it is? Do you know where it is? Go ahead, we're gonna call this an investigation check. I'll let you know it's a very high DC, but for reasons you might find out soon.
I felt you climbing off of my body, right? Because you were on me as we went through the tunnel, and
Yeah, but then I'm just gone.
Yeah, I think I just call out, knowing you, RJ. I just go, hey, this is the house of my dead friend. And I just keep looking for Tooth.
And then you just keep watching. It's like, quick reminder, this is the dead friend's house. Just be aware. Jeez.
I mean, I could have rolled worse, and I'm going to give myself guidance. An 18's pretty good.
An 18. RJ, you head off, and it's very much that, like, wow, Santa's workshop. Anyone who's ever been a child has always wondered, like, what would that be like? Like, a workshop of wonder and magic. RJ, it's...
I'm going to text you what I want to do here.
Mm-hmm.
You can continue with...
Oh, no, I'm going to say, you're about to find something that should be, like, role-played out.
Okay.
On an 18. Because, RJ, as you're going through... room after room, you're noticing there are a lot of, like, just what we would call, like, factory spaces, right? Like, oh, this would be for, like, more wooden products. This is where, like, different electronics are crafted. Eventually, though, RJ, you find one of those little directories and head up to the big man's office. Pushing inside, there is a thick coating of sawdust and cobweb. No one's been in here for a while. And immediately you're going through, you see wood carving tools and sets of equipment lying everywhere, half-finished toys, projects, little miniature sleighs. RJ, you go up and you do see a gilded-looking drawer with a lock on it that when you try the handle, it is open. But when you slide open the drawer, you don't see a list, but you see a folded piece of paper inside where you could assume this looks like a drawer that a list should sit in. It's got that indent of like a thick scroll, but inside is just a folded up piece of paper.
I want to read the paper.
You read the paper. My dear friend Jack, as you read this, I hope you have come back to the North Pole. I have decided to set off journeying for Tooth and other of our friends. I can't say that I'm not disappointed that you vanished, but I understand that you are trying to discover who you are. Know this, my friend. I believe in you. I believe that the man in the moon called you to be a guardian, that you are stronger and braver than even you know, but that, hey, there's always room to get onto nice list. Huh? Your friend, North. And you realize this was meant for if Jack ever came back looking for the list of like, hey, this is what North left before he headed off to adventure and find Tooth. Go ahead, and RJ, I didn't mean to say, you can still text me. I know there's like other stuff you want to look for, but that's one of the bigger things that you find, and it's kind of, I mean, like, oh, wow, that's, yeah, the list is not in its spot, but this was here instead. Ooh, yee. As you're looking through, you text that, we'll cut back, Jack, you stepping through. EB is like a few paces behind you, kind of like when you will look in a room on the left, he checks the room on the right. Eventually, though, you make your way down to what you would think would be like the kitchen area, like a lot of baked goods that are delivered at Christmas and winter seasons. And you do feel, Jack, as you cross into this room, a small, an arcane line of golden sand, like a tripwire on the floor that your foot grazes. And within moments, suddenly the room is a wash in blinding light, and you kind of have to shield your eyes. And if not for the fact that this was an ally, we would have rolled initiative. But immediately, you and EB feel a blinding trap go off, but as your eyes blink, you realize that you are being held by two small figures. The Sandman and Tooth, who are wrapped around your waist in a hug and embrace.
Hey, guys.
You see Tooth. Oh my gosh, you're back! It's been so long. It's been almost a month. Where have you been? Everything's been going crazy, but we got a lot of information. It's so good to see you. As she chitters away, you see Sandman just beams up at you, looking so happy, and then turns and notices EB, who's trying to play it cool. You see EB gives that little, how's it hanging? Immediately, these two cry in joy. Tears fall from both as they hug EB, who ruffles their heads just like, oh no, I miss you too, you little scamps. As the four of you are united for the first time in years. Oh my gosh. Jack, you look around. All three of you, the remaining guardians, are here. You see Sandman looks at you and gives that little like inquisitive smile, and you see little shapes form around him of like a small version of Jack flying out, a question mark, a bunch of like battles of grand proportions, but you get the gist of Sandy is asking like, what's happened? Like, why are you back and what's going on?
Well, you guys sent me to find the Union, and I did, and I've been working with them. Guys, I don't even know where to start, but
yeah.
RJ, would you have given me the wings, or would you have just taken them with you as you?
Yeah, I would have left the wings with you.
It's that clever,
okay,
like
perfect.
you. Yeah, so you've got the wings.
Then, yeah, I just pull. I don't even know how to preamble, so I think I just pull them out, and I'm like, Tooth, can you do your thing on these? They're baby wings, basically.
You see, she looks horrified for a second of like, I didn't know babies had wings, and then kind of gets the context for it.
All babies are born as cherubs. Use their wings.
It is canon in this world. Babies are born as cherub, and we have to circumcise the wings off of them.
You just made me swallow my hot chocolate.
I'm so sorry. Just, yeah, Tooth looks horrified, and Amelia just like, oh, like the first wing, angel wings. Okay.
Yes.
You see, she walks over. Tooth actually, again, ever since Pitch wrecked House, killing Sandman, or as far as we knew, Tooth has not been able to fly. Again, you know a lot of powers are linked to belief, and Pitch made sure to destroy belief in the Tooth Fairy. You know, for the exact reason, Tooth had armies of fairies at her command. She was not Titania, but had loyal fairies and subjects. In fact, you're noticing some of the few people still with power are yourself to an extent. You know, Sandman has it because one of these parties, they call themselves the Speedrunners, did a full ritual of true resurrection, and it's hard to kill dreams. Everyone dreams, right? So, like, Sandman still has power, and EB, as you know, his power has always been in the spring and paganistic ritual and Easter and growth. He was never one. It's hard to, like, kill the belief of Easter, right? Like, he can always pull shenanery. But Tooth is still walking. So you see, she walks over and picks up one of these wings, and you're realizing they're very much like you would assume. They look like what we could call Party City wings. They seem rather small, rather put together. They are magically sewn. You're not seeing like thread or anything keeping the wings in these pairs. But Tooth picks one up, and she goes, "Oh wow, okay, this is impressive, but also terrifying. I can try something. I can't promise it'll work, but let's see. Let's see what we can find." You see, she did pick up Michael's wing first, right? The idea of if these weren't in order, it's Michael's, you always put it number one. She picks up Michael's wings, and she is going to make a roll.
Tooth, before you do anything, we really don't want to draw any attention here. So just whatever you're going to do, like, I trust you, but like, let's be really careful.
Yeah.
Share the amulet.
Well, but I have.
Tooth.
But if I take it off of me,
yeah.
like,
Both of
they
your
know
hands.
I exist. They don't necessarily know that Tooth exists. Like, they might be looking for me, but
I'll actually say, you know, Tooth is one of the chosen as well, but they have reclaimed Santa's workshop, for lack of a better word. So Santa's workshop is a pretty magically warded place, Pitch being the first, so it may not have been too much work. I'd actually say, Jack, that's probably what you did with Tooth and Sandman for a lot of months, is let's make this place safe, right? So you used your frost powers to seal outer exits. Sandman and Tooth studied arcane glyph to ward. Tooth will take Michael's wings, and we're gonna roll a check for Tooth. This is a divination check. All right. You see Tooth, her eyes start glowing in a soft bluish pink light. As she does so, you see she's trying to look and goes, yeah, there's memory here. There's personality. There's soul in these. And you see she catches your eye. These are imbued objects, but there's a lot here. I'm just skimming the surface. It's like I'm pulling a ladle out of a giant ocean, right? And you see her eyes stop glowing, and you see it's not like she's giving up, but she turns. You have to understand, Jack. Humans are so much easier with their baby teeth. I mean, these teeth, you only have so many years of memories. There's a lot in there, a lot we can and guard and protect in these children, but I'm looking at a being that existed for thousands upon thousands of years before even history began to record itself. Is there anything I'm trying to look for? Anything that we're trying to accomplish looking at these wings?
As far as I can remember, the most important thing is looking at Raphael's memories and getting a sense of him being strong and him being important from his own memories.
For Michael, it was definitely a lot of how did he end up in charge, or kind of like what are his motivations in the first place?
Mm-hmm. How did he?
Or like if he had any personal conversations with, what's his bucket, who gave up all of his power to the younger ones. That might have.
So yeah, Michael, Raphael, and then Lucifer to see what led to his fall.
Exactly.
Those are like the three things that I think.
Also, that extra guy who was kind of aware of us in all of the visions.
Yeah, Ananiel, the 8th Seraphim, the new one. So here's the thing: there are 4 big ones you want to look for. Because again, the idea of, well, the others, not that they're not important, but you guys are on first name, talking friendship basis with Gabriel, and the rest of them you might not really need to delve in, but you really want to know, what is Michael's ambitions? Why is he the way he is? Lucifer, what led to this fall? What led to him becoming this like ultimate antithesis of good? And also Raphael being a source of power. What is this chosen power and glory? And also, why is he in the dark, right? There's a lot here. What I'll say here is you give these kind of lists of like, you help catch up Tooth, but you gotta know here, what Tooth can explain is, okay, I can delve, I'm gonna need help. I can, these aren't teeth, Jack, but they are powerful memories. I can dive in, but I might need, if I'm the anchor, I need someone to explore inside. Does that make sense? I might need people who can push their conscious through, just because I'm going to tether myself to oceans. And to give a little mechanic, it's the idea of, you guys might be able to each enter a memory or a wing of a memory of your choice, but Tooth will explain, but once you're in, you might only have one shot. I don't think it's going to be safe to stay inside these memories for too long. Otherwise, we would risk losing all we are. The children's teeth are such beautiful memories because they burn bright. I mean, these humans are wonderful because they don't live forever. These angels, they still exist. Some of my teeth, those people are long gone, and we hold their innocence and childlike wonder. But these angels are still around. You might lose your entire sense, and just your ego and id would dissolve inside of the memory. But I could anchor myself to the memory and allow yourself, Easter Bunny, or Sandy to jump in. But I mean, there's only 3 of you, and there's, what, 4 wings you want me to really look at?
There's a 4th. No, RJ's. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, pan to RJ straight up like, I need the list, and just like tearing through. No, but I think it's more of not only RJ. You know, Jack. It's like, if the members of the union, you could probably link up with them again. This might just be like an encounter, something metaphysical and very spiritual, not very literal in the sense of an encounter in real life. It's, do we jump into these mini encounters in the mind, in these memories?
If I was to include other members of the union, would this be something we'd have to do later, or is this like we could enter a trance while they're sleeping, even though they're across the world, because we have Sandman, sort of a deal?
Yes. Here's what you're really... You kind of hit it on the nose there. You've got Sandman, who can link into the dreams of anyone. You've got Easter Bunny, who's just a powerful force of nature, and Tooth, who can anchor. And you could probably link up even the union members, though they may not be here, and say, like, we need to input ourselves into memory and search. That being said, however, as you kind of formulate this plan, Jack, as RJ exploring through the North Pole and the union members trying to settle in for a bit of a long winter's nap, no pun intended, that's where we're going to take our break for this session. Thank you all so very much for playing. Thank you all for listening. I will be back in just 5 minutes, and we'll see you then. Welcome back for Dreamworks Dungeons and Dragons. As we cut, Jack, you sitting here with 3 of the Guardians. Your friends far away. You see Sandman has already started drawing up Arcane Sigil and Ward. EB kind of like cracks his knuckles and just kind of like squares up like, all right, let's do this. While Tooth is holding onto these wings. But we will cut to RJ. Now, RJ, as you are sitting here in Santa's workshop, in his personal office, you're seeing this note to Jack. And I think in this moment, a lot of what you texted me, you're having these thoughts. And one of these thoughts, of course, is, yeah, Nicholas St. North is dead. He was dissolved by this demon saving others, right? This, like, heroic sacrifice, and you want that to change. RJ, which item do you pull out?
Wait, sorry.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple items, as you know, that could accomplish this goal that you guys have accumulated.
Okay. Pause. Can you text me those items? Because I was only aware of the one.
Oh, for sure. But that's why I'm saying there's a couple.
Okay, yeah, no. I only have the one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I was making sure you only had the one.
To the other.
Yeah, it's.
I'm not evil.
I know, guys, chaotic neutral. No, you're good. Yeah. So, how do you want this to look, RJ, as you prepare this ritual?
So he's gonna like look around, be annoyed that he couldn't find the list, and then he's gonna be a little sad because Christmas is nice, and he never really got Christmas, and he doesn't know if it's because he didn't qualify in the sense of not being human or whatever, or if he was just on the naughty list, which is the most likely answer. So he's gonna make a list of his own.
Okay.
As he pulls out a scroll, opens it, and is going to list the things he wants.
Yeah. RJ. Yeah.
So the 3 things I mentioned.
Okay.
I am going to wish that Santa is back and Christmas is reinstituted. I'm permanently on the nice list. And that I can have access to the North Pole at any time. I'm thinking in the sense of like, hey guys, let's just go to the North Pole and we're there kind of thing.
Yeah. RJ, you pull out a scroll and you start to make a list.
Dear Santa.
And as you write those first lines, Jack, we cut over to you. You see Tooth. Okay, I think we've got everything ready. The problem is, and no offense, Sandy, you're able to connect, but she kind of looks at EB. We don't have a power source. I'm not powerful enough to just link up to these dreams. We need a lot of strong magic. And you see Tooth gets really soft. We haven't had someone with that kind of magic power in a while. And and Jack, something rustles in your backpack.
I gave the hat to EB.
You gave the hat to EB. EB goes, what the? As zipping out of a little pocket, a giant furry hat whisks down the wall. And up and down, as if it was being drugged by a fishing line all over the room. All of you watch in this room, it starts to coalesce and glow as RJ writes a Christmas list. A wish list to bring back this creature this person and to be on the nice list, but to forever. Permanently on the nice list. A small little lock of hair from inside emerges from the wish and unites with a small lock of hair left inside the hat. The last little bit of Nicholas St. North, glowing in light and power, becoming a full creature that has not been dead more than a century, restores all missing body parts because, and here's where I'm going to be really nice to you, RJ, you're technically just downcasting resurrection. You are able to resurrect Jack Santa Claus in the North Pole. And I'm going to go a step further. You used a wish spell. Yetis and elves start whirling out of snow and light. The palace is warm and bright. I'm not going to cry. Why am I crying over Santa Claus? This is just cool.
That is so cool.
It's so cool. But you see a truly gigantic figure. A man 8.5 feet tall with an insane, impressive white beard. His arms are tattooed. RJ, he has a physical list. And it's his guns. He doesn't use the physical list too often because he's got it on him all times. Jack, you see Nicholas St. North appear underneath his hat in a swirl of magic and wonder. And RJ, you sign your Christmas list. The wish spell glows brightly, and you watch it gains brass coppers on the side. Beautiful peppermint ribbon wraps around, and you're holding a naughty and nice list. And you see on the top of the nice list in golden ink that will never fade, having made a wish that, yes, it helps you, but also just restored a lot of good to the world, is RJ the raccoon. Jack, Nicholas St. North. Ha ha ha! I am not dead!
You guys don't know.
I know. But
Look at this! And Jack, you see, North is like grabbing some. I was being pulled into decay itself, but I am alive! This is wonderful! We should celebrate with a drink! And you see, he is whipping out hot chocolate, vodka, coffee, like any drink imaginable, warm, cold, eggnog, spiked and non-spiked. He is whisking around as elves and yetis dance and sing. You see, Tooth is full sobbing as hard as she can. Sandy is just aghast. And you see EB has his hand over his face and you realize he's hiding tears. Because he's too cool to cry. But in a moment of true wish, you have resurrected Nicholas St. North, who looks at all of the Guardians. Ha ha! What is going on?
I don't even think I say anything. I think I just give the guy a hug.
You feel, Jack, it's such a warm hug. You're a creature of the cold, and you feel hard arms wrap around you in the softest embrace. I never stopped believing in you. You made your choices, but you are a good man. And Jack, you just hug Nicholas. I think the Guardians have a long-awaited hug as every single Guardian is alive, gang. Oh my gosh, that's insane. RJ,
Can I start stealing toys?
RJ, toys start coming to life. You're like, ooh. You start pocketing toys. I will say, as you're holding this naughty and nice list, it is starting to, like, it's not, like, going to physically drag you, but you realize, kind of like a compass, it's starting to point down the hall and just kind of like that, ding, ding, and, like, kind of pull you towards Santa Claus.
Okay. I guess I'll show up.
RJ, you walk into the room with this list. all of the guardians turn. Jack, you see
Yeah,
Arj.
so I just found this list and things started glowing.
RJ,
I don't believe that for a
I
second,
don't.
but I don't think I care.
It's not like, hey, if that's what you need. You see, Nicholas St. North will lean down, look at you, RJ, and he's got that very hard expression that's, what is he thinking? But in a moment, you watch, he winks one of his eyes and goes, you know, I usually pen my list in very easily transferable ink.
I feel like you owe me a bit.
You see, he goes, ha! I owe you, from now on, a chance to deserve your name at top of list. And you see, he rolls up his bicep. On his bicep is your name, tattooed permanently now on his shoulder. You see, he goes, earn it. But for now, you deserve. Here. And you see he pulls out, RJ, it's the claw grabber arm. And it's, I will let you know, it gives you another 5-foot reach to any weapon attacks. You now have a 10-foot reach as you have a little claw grabber going.
And
as
it
he
makes
goes,
it easier for you to steal things too.
yeah, it will. He gives this to you. He turns. Ah!
Last claw grabber of Christmas.
No, it has been too long. And you see, he does that big. Wait. Something is wrong. What month is this?
That's a good question, Nick. I don't know.
Easter.
It's springtime. You see, he goes.
Wait, what month is it?
It is. This is for you guys. It is the 4th month of the year.
So it's April.
So it's
Wait,
about.
So I've had dragon for more than a year.
Yeah.
Aw.
Because you see, Nicholas goes. There is something very wrong. Did I miss Christmas?
Nick, they're
The wish did say
It wasn't-
reinstituting Christmas, so like I'd assume we'd have to catch up.
Oi.
couple
This
months late, but
I, in over 1,000 years, have never missed Christmas. But I was dead. This is acceptable. Very well. And you see, he pulls out a full big old sack. And I will let you guys know, I don't have these ready. Every party member is going to get a personal gift from Santa Claus for Christmas because he missed it. He missed Christmas. He was dead. That's not okay. So all of you are going to get a magic item from Santa Claus. But I'm going to have to do that. Hey, that will actually work great for everyone's next sessions. We'll get to that. You see, he pulls out and just starts whittling and going. He's like, and I'll say, Jack, we can have one of those like download sessions where you can kind of catch up Nicholas and the rest of the guards and like that, like, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's the wings. Here's the state of the world right now, and kind of like revamp all of these ideas.
yeah. I also think as I'm giving him the download, I think I ask him about like if in his travels he's seen anything, and I pull open the Book of Dragons and I show him the Dragon of Death and ask if he's seen like that while he's been delivering presents, because he's way more well traveled than I am.
I will let you know, he gets history with advantage, as he's Santa Claus is, well, we'll get to it.
An old veteran.
Santa is Santa.
He's technically a saint of Zephyr.
He is a saint. Yeah, he was a saint back. It's one of those, like, he was an early cleric back in those days of Zephim and did a lot of good. I'll let you know. I just rolled a nat 20.
Yeah. We love to see it.
Lore.
Let me pull up my notes app.
Excellent. Yeah, pull out the notes. Everyone, okay, pull out the notes. You pull out this book. And Nicholas looks at you. Ah. The Dragon of Death. Oh, scary title. Do you want me to make one for Christmas gift?
No, I guess we haven't talked recently, but I actually have a companion. Not here with me now. He's protecting some friends, but I actually think I have one.
Ah, well, these are dangerous creatures. I expect nothing less from brave man such as yourself, Jack. You see, Dragon of Death, these are only very much found in Viking territory. With their big, scaly lizards and their riding around and doing the whoos and ha's. Well, you see, the Dragon of Death, this is ancient creature. You see, on this, it's a nat 20, but you see Nicholas St. North is racking his brain, trying to make sure he tells you this correctly. He goes, this dragon is known by many names. Some call it Hell's Echo. Others, the darkness that feeds. It is the unholy offspring of lightning and death itself. This dragon is known as Night Fury. And indeed, I will now start using the token. It is a Night Fury. One of almost indistinguishable number, because there are almost none left. You see, Nicholas goes, Night Fury is very dangerous creature, Jack. You be careful. They eat hand like that. You know how many amputee victims I deliver Christmas present to for hook or peg leg or side of face. They do not like being tampered with.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Sorry, my D&D Beyond just got covered by Grammarly.
Yes. Are you ready for Grammarly? Sign up today.
Sponsored.
Cool. Is there anything I should know about, like, how to interact with? Or I guess, like, for me, as he says, like, Night Fury, could I roll, like, a history check, like, personally to see if I've heard this phrase before? Or, like, it's all just leading me to be like, okay, where did I get this thing? I need to talk to Tooth and have her look at my history, but this is becoming a personal sidebar.
I will let you know that you can make a history check. You'll make it with advantage, because, again, you've been with Dragon for a year.
On page for history. Okay, history with advantage. Here we go. The first one. It's a 16. The higher one's a 16.
Higher one's a 16. On a 16, Jack, you think back, and this dragon is... Yeah, dragon's always been interesting, and you have a flash of a memory of riding this dragon. But you're not ever, as far as you know, you've never rode dragon. You've usually flown alongside. But you have this memory, and in trying to remember of, like, what can I remember about this species, or what can you learn, you're having these thoughts swirl around you as Nicholas describes a Night Fury, and you're realizing that dragon has slowly been growing with you. Right? He's been gaining this shape and form, and finally looking like this Dragon of Death. He did not start as this. In fact, he, at one point or another, seemed rather, I don't want to say small, but, you know, like, he was this tiny little creature that we used, like, one of those terrible terrors to know his token. He was tiny. And just now he's getting to that medium, almost rideable stage.
Mechanically, he is rideable, just not in the air.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's that, so it's that, like, just now, but you're having these memories of, like, he is rideable. I've ridden him. But again, you've never ridden him. And on a 16, you're finding yourself wondering more and more about this connection to Dragon when he showed up, when you summoned him, we know mechanically there's a summoning thing where you can like summon him to your side and he will materialize. And yet when he first appeared, like we said before, he kind of did just appear one day. As if he was a manifestation of some thing inside you wanting this. Needing, desiring, asking. It's hard to say. But as you look, Nicholas explaining about these creatures, about yourself, you're looking at a creature who also is built out of magic. This creature is not a true Night Fury. Its scales change, its breath can grow and shrink, right? Like, it's malleable. It is still very much of magic. And I think for the first time, Jack, you have a thought which might be a little alarming. Did you summon Dragon? Or did Dragon summon you? And you're like, that's preposterous. I mean, I was sentient, I existed, and yet the magic between you both right now is very odd. You're not sure where this creature is coming from, and so is there something to be said of the dragon or the egg?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he changes, I change.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, one last question. In that, like, the flash of memory I'm getting, can I see, like the main thing like, as I'm writing him, I assume he's flying through the air. Can I see, like, my hands, like, what I'm wearing? Do I look like I'm dressed like a more Viking-esque individual, or is it, like...
Give me a perception check of this memory. I'll let you know. It's just kind of a flat perception.
Okay. I do roll... Good thing I rolled those with advantage, because that's a nat 1 for my first one. But my second one's a 13.
Excellent. Because, yeah, I will say, Jack, yeah, the frost bow, this bow you've got, is really nice. A 13, Jack, your skin is pale. You look like someone that was walking out of a frost storm constantly.
Of course.
In this memory, you looked warm. Maybe your hands were a little more flesh-toned. And maybe this is a little too low-balling here, but you have to wonder, was that a memory or was that a vision? And so, Jack, you're thinking about this, right? There's a lot to ruminate here.
Uh-huh.
And in this moment, I will see Nicholas will clap you on the shoulder and go, "It is nothing to worry about. I mean, honestly, dragons eat what? Maybe 80 Vikings per month. You are not Viking, so you are not a part of demographic, yeah? It's good." And because you see, Nicholas saying, I made an inside check. He thought you were worried about, like, uh-oh, am I about to be eaten in my sleep? And you see Nicholas is trying to, like, confer some level of, like, oh, don't worry, you're not a Viking, you're not going to be eaten.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. No, I'm sorry. We should focus on the task at hand.
Yes.
These wings. Also, just to throw it out there before I forget, I do want to fletch arrows using these wings after we're done with them. So, like, just when we're done with everything, I'm gonna collect them up and steal all the feathers.
Try to, like, make some fletchings out of it. That's really cool.
I'd like to make a pillow out of them.
Megamind, study the arcane. Jack Frost, I'm gonna make arrows. RJ, dang, can you imagine a pillow? Gonna sleep in this. We cut Jim Lake Jr., Puss in Boots, and Megamind. As you are all going to bed, and I will say, you have enough of, you're going to bed in shifts because you also have, like, union members who are going to help keep shift. Like, we don't have to run that, like, who's got first watch, who's got second. It's like, we can say, like, you all had first watch, but while you all go down for bed, like, 3 other chicken-born and 2 paladin chickens and 4 druid chickens take next watch. You are all heading to bed. and you will all be affected by the Dream spell. As Sandman casting with Tooth's guidance and Nicholas St. North's power, all of you watch here in the North Pole, swirling candy cane frost forms these glittery holograms of Jim, Puss, and Megamind. And in essence, you are all here as a party in the kitchen of the workshop.
Hey guys. Long time no see. Santa's alive.
Somehow Santa returned.
Somehow, Santa returned.
You can learn the lore of how Santa returned if you go play the Fortnite Battle Pass.
It's actually for only $4.99 for the next 2 months. You can play as Nicholas St. North.
Oh gosh.
Anywho.
I think this has been fun, but I think I'm gonna leave the campaign.
Hey guys, great stuff. I gotta bounce. This is my moment. This is my entrance or exit. You see Nicholas St. North looks. Welcome, Megamind. You are very naughty man. Jim Lake Jr. Very good boy. You are good for mother. Yes, very good boy. And you see.
Santa?
Yeah, this Santa Claus. Yeah, he goes. Who else am I? Am I Easter Bunny? Ha! And you see Easter Bunny is like, hey, I will kill you again.
I walk up to the Easter Bunny and is like, this is why I like you better. He doesn't even pay attention.
You see Evie's like, honestly, I put eggs, we eat candy, we go home. He's always watching.
I've been very good for like a year, and he calls me bad.
I've had like a year of goodness. But yeah, you see Nicholas looks at you all. He's like, welcome, friends of Jack are friends of mine. Now, it sounds like we're going to give the download of Tooth's plan of putting you guys into the memories. And you see Tooth, as she finished playing, we can probably put one of you in each of the memories in each of the wings, but only like once. I can't do it multiple times for each person because I don't want to lose your souls inside the sea in these, right? I mean, there's so much. And this is where we kind of talked about this over the break, but in specifics, is there specific memories or angel wings people want to claim? We'll actually go through. We'll start with Jim Lake Jr., then Megamind, then Puss, since you guys haven't been here, right? Is there anywhere you three want to start for your memory, or like which wing or memory do you want to take?
So are we able to go into multiple wings, or is it you only get to go once?
Everyone will go once.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's the idea. Yeah,
probably should split up.
Yes. It's if you go together, you'll have a better chance of catching a lot, but going separately lets you cover ground.
I can cover what's his face?
Ananiel.
I'm really bad with these angel names.
Ananiel.
Yeah, that one.
Cool. You're gonna choose Ananiel, and is there any specific memory or portion of Ananiel's life you want to try to dive into?
I would say post where it seemed like he wanted us to like have a further conversation after we talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of from there, and then hopefully jumping up until the point where the thing was busted up.
Okay.
Or
okay.
Or should I go for like?
I mean, the only thing we know about him is him being interested in us, so that's probably a good lead.
We know he's interested in us, but we have no idea what happened to him.
Yeah.
Is he still around modern day?
It doesn't seem like he is.
It would be wild if any of the Seraphim had died. Like, that was something even Gabriel would know about.
But, like, we haven't heard anything boo about him, basically.
Cool. So Megamind...
So I would say kind of following immediately from where we were,
maybe even a little further ahead, just to like have a conversation with him, and then hopefully jumping further ahead to kind of that one point, and then if I'm still able to kind of see where he might be at.
Cool. Because, yeah, the farther you go, the more dangerous it might be before Tooth has to pull you out. But yeah, Megamind, you're going to try to look into Ananiel's memories and wings. Jim Jr., is there any of... Because the big ones discussed, of course, are Michael, Lucifer, and Raphael that's left. Or, again, if there's a different memory of Ananiel you think could be helpful to look into, is there one you would go into, or what do you think is going to be the vibe?
I think I would looking to either Michael or Raphael. I'm kind of leaning toward Raphael.
All right.
But also, I just want to make sure that we have all our bases covered, because I don't know how many people we have going, and I'd rather double up on Michael and
Gotcha. So,
Lucifer.
the idea of, like, you could claim Raphael, like, hey, I can check out these memories, but...
Do we have first baby wings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I call that one.
RJ wants to hop into Lucifer's. Puss in Boots, is there anyone particular... Because the only one that's not been claimed, I should say, is Michael. Like, no one's yet said they want to go into Michael's. But like Jim Jr. said, it might be helpful for Michael or Lucifer to double up. Where do you think Puss in Boots wants to go?
I think Puss, where he wants to go is he really wants to see Lucifer's side of the story.
Okay.
Right? I'm not saying he's deconstruction, being really
Yeah.
Catholic, but but he knows his sense of duty would be smarter to go with Michael.
Okay, gotcha. So it's not like it'd be interesting to see Lucifer, but Puss in Boots can head out and check Michael's memories. And RJ, of course, wants to head into Lucifer's memories. And finally, Jack Frost. We now have each party member has each set of wings. Is there anyone you would want to either double up in a different set of memories, or even like go over the same memory with another person? Or again, there are 4 other angel wings. It's just those are the wings of Gabriel, Sarathiel, Zadkiel, and Uriel, which is like you guys have a lot of memory there, but they've never been like the big names to worry about, at least for your party.
I don't want to like take over here,
No,
but
go
I
for it.
do want to just say that Jim is willing to double up with anyone. He's not super caring which group he takes, and honestly, he thinks it'd be really, really smart to send Puss with RJ, because we know, as much as we love RJ, that he doesn't tell us the whole truth. He doesn't tell us all the pieces that he finds.
Smart.
I am on the nice list.
Yeah.
Go with
He doesn't
RJ.
know that. And honestly, given what we know about Puss in Boots, I think it'd be really good to send Puss.
So
To
Puss in
go-
Boots and RJ and Lucifer.
That. But I
Um,
also really think that Michael is important.
Michael's well, because that's the thing is Jack Frost. Do you want to then take Michael or Michael's memories?
Or
Yeah,
switch
I
to
absolutely can.
Raphael.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just fill the gap. Sorry, I had to take a phone call, so I
Oh.
don't know where anybody else is going.
Cool. It
But I
sounds
will go
like
wherever I need to.
it sounds like Megan.
I do think, like, eventually, Raphael did have basically contact with just Jack in the real world, in
Oh.
like the current present. So it might
Ew.
be useful if he gets Raphael, because then he would at least have that basis of understanding of like, hey, we've met before and had a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a thought.
No, I think
No, I
that's
think that's
perfect.
pretty smart.
Because then it gives Jim Lake Jr. Michael, where Jim Lake Jr. You've been the one making deals with Michael. Like you've met him most.
Yeah.
For clarification,
Yeah, you've handled him
sorry,
pretty well.
Is
I
this
didn't
going to be
handle
similar
him
to when
good.
Gabe brought us into his memories, where they're able to be interacted with, or is this more like silent observers?
This is going to be a little more silent observers. Because what
Yay.
Tooth is doing is Tooth is pulling out a key memory in a drop. Because if Gabriel or Zepham or everyone putting you back, you might be able to like interact a little bit stronger. And that's not to say you won't interact in these memories, but this is going to be more of a like, hey, you are making checks to find the needles in a haystack, right? This is a more of a spelunking expedition rather than like film noir snapshot and now let's explore the scene, right? It's that like, how do we make sure we find what's important, the lore of it all, in a fun way, right? It's that like, hey, I could have just made a document list, but this is more of that like, you guys like are going to see and better understand, because again, by seeing it, you can make insight checks, you can remember this, it gives you advantage later on. Like, there's a lot that will come from this.
I am slightly concerned about my insight and my perception being so low and Michael being such an important piece. Is there any way that we could like do something to help me get advantage or a higher bonus to some of those rolls?
And is Dragon sapient enough that I could send him with RJ?
Yes, I will allow that dragon, especially, I will actually say, now that you know the name and more about him, Dragon looks like a white Night Fury. What we would know as a Light Fury.
He's a Light Fury.
And I will actually say, Jack, go ahead and mark down your Draconic Companion stats are now the Night Fury stats, which are in D&D Beyond.
Sick.
And so I will let you start looking that up, Lincoln, because there's a lot you'll find on it. But yes, Dragon will go with Jimlick Jr., and we're going to make a roll to see which feather we go to first, or which set of wings we enter into. Michael shall be 1, of course, Raphael 2, Ananiel 3, and Lucifer 4. That is a 3. We are going to go to Ananiel. Megamind. You feel Tooth, her eyes glow brilliant white, and you see these wings on her back, though vestigial now, start glowing, kind of like Titania's in that fey magic. All of you feel Santa Claus whips up some chairs, Yetis rush over with stools as you all slump into unconscious forms. And Megamind, you push into the memories of Ananiel, specifically after meeting him. Looking around, Megamind, I will actually say, viewing Ananiel's memory, you actually see your party disappear. In this moment, you watch a trippy version of... It's very much that Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban where you see yourself just in that split second as you and the party leave. And you watch Ananiel is standing there, and you realize he doesn't see you right now. Because you are looking at a true memory. As Ananiel goes, those mortals, they were... I have work to do. And you realize he's talking more to himself, and you watch as Ananiel flies away, you follow him, moving faster than light and travel itself, until you find yourself in a library. Megamind, you realize this is an ancient library. This is the Library of Roots. But back when it was just root singular, not roots plural, right? Like, you see, like, the staircase leading down straight to daylight, and just a fresh collection of books, and Ananiel, enters into this early elven library and starts flipping through pages and starts reading and starts making lists and notes. And you watch Ananiel, he's becoming enamored. You realize, Megamind, and it's really cool that you wanted to go here, you see yourself kind of in that moment of that zeal of excitement of investigation and mystery and creation. Like, as he takes notes and staples it to his own journal, you see that kind of mirror of yourself of, yeah, when I get in the zone and I create. Ananiel is doing heavy research.
Would I be able to, like, see over his shoulder at, like, what he's researching the entire time?
Ananiel is researching memories. You see again, it's very Inception right now. You're watching a memory of Ananiel researching memories to, and you realize, dig into his own memories. And you're realizing as he's reading, it's a strong divinatory magic right now. Because memories are both psychically our own, but exist in the magical cosmos. The memories are points of time. Chronomantic energy, evocation, bringing forth strong emotion, the transmutation of thought, and the divination to see it. And as he looks through these memories, he goes, so I'm not crazy. There were mortals. And they saw me, but that means there's more out there. That means... And you watch, Ananiel has a epiphany. He kind of like stops, closes his book. So there will be more. But why were they here in the first place? Well, and you realize he's about to do a walk and talk. As he's kind of pacing around this... A library is so old, it's somehow new right now. It's an odd feeling. But as he paces this kind of one room, he goes... Mortals looking at the memories of angels. We are chosen of Father. But Father had plans. The plans have changed. So why did the plans change? Well, it must have something to do with myself. No. It has something to do with Seraph. My brothers and I must be important. But why would we be important unless Father's plan? There were the chosen. And you watch Ananiel gets a smile on his face. And you've never heard an angel laugh so strangely. Kind of that soft, pittering laugh. They will need to be picked. We need to pick them. But they've already been picked. I know who they are. But they don't know who they are yet. But by being picked, I have picked them. We will pick them. No. Father will pick them. Therefore, I must talk with Father. And we must pick the chosen. So that the chosen can pick themselves. So that the chosen can pick themselves. And you watch Megamind, the memory in this moment zips, and Ananiel rushes, and you see he meets Gabriel. You see Gabe standing there overlooking the cosmos. His arms are folded in on themselves as Gabriel just kind of watches, and you realize you're looking at Ananiel talking to the literal moon, but Ananiel sees the moon as his brother, right? Like, so we would see a tiny little figure looking straight at a rock the size of thousands of miles long, but this is Ananiel seeing his brother for the moon. Gabriel. You watch Gabriel kind of turns. Yes. How may I be of assistance? Brother, I am acting on our Father's will. We are to find chosen, and we are to find champions. You see Gabriel nods. This is true. Ananiel speaks. I have a list, but I need you to divine them for me. And you realize because Gabriel is the seraph of divination. Ananiel is the seraph of abjuration, of protection. But you see Gabriel goes, very well. And in this moment, Megamind, you feel the connection to the memory is slipping. Tooth might have to pull you out. You can either try to hold on to the memory and try to really see if you can get anything else in here, or you can allow yourself to be pulled out, so to speak.
I'm gonna try and get a little bit more.
Okay, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, as you do feel Ananiel, though not a bad person, is a powerful creature. His ego and id is overwhelming in this extra dimensional space. So make the con save, and let's see what happens.
Did we technically get a long rest?
You have not technically gotten a long rest yet.
Oh shoot! I already took one.
Okay, don't worry. Again, these memories are not like last time. Nothing should, in theory, harm you. It just means some of your abilities may not have reset.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes, yeah.
I'll try
Don't
to-
worry of like, oh no, hit points. It's like, no, again, this is more of a like what your character stats are, not your abilities.
Did I have a point of inspiration, or am I imagining that?
I will allow you to have had a point of inspiration. I don't think there was one, but I'll allow it in this moment.
How do I not have one after the last 2 sessions?
Honestly, RJ, it's because your point of inspiration becomes me saying, all right, I won't just kill him. No, you're good. You're good.
Well, that's a nat 13 plus 2, so 15.
15. Unfortunately, the DC is a little steep. A 15 won't cut it, but I will give you something on the nat 13, Megamind. Would you like to get more of an insight into what Ananiel is doing right now? Or would you rather get a perception check, try to get a little bit more physical of... Ananiel's got a physical list. He, like what you do when you create and invent, he's got a book on him. He's got a little pad of notes and drawings and charts. So you could either insight maybe what's going on, or you could try to perceive a little bit more of what's in his hands.
The way that Megamind would definitely go to try and see the book in his hand.
Yeah.
To see if there was a way that he could find it.
Yeah. On this perception then, on this like looking physically, you go in, and I will let you know you did a really kind of smart thing here, because looking at this little book, this papers, there are names here. You see the names of Blue Alien, Black Coat, 2 small mammalian, Fur Claw, Angelic Child, not angel, but white hair, Paladin, Sword, and there's more. You see strong build, tattoos, Prophet, our Prophet, question mark, woman, pink hair, 2 men, gods, godly men, horse, and as this list is going through, there's a lot of names. Horse. There's just horse underlined horse. As Ananiel is getting mental notes from Gabriel looking, you see a list of names of the future chosen that are being chosen. This may not be all of them, but this may be important people, as these are some of you guys. And in this moment, you do see Gabriel and Ananiel looking at this book. Megamind, you do get a good enough look at the book that you might be able to start trying to figure out where it went. We are going to cut now, as I'm going to make a check, see who we go to next. That is the number 1. We cut to Michael's Wings with Jim Lake Jr. Now, Jim Lake Jr., we didn't technically yet discuss what memories you want to try to start with, but as you jump in, where do you think... Again, we know we're trying to understand more of, like, Michael, who he is, what brought him to these levels, but, like, is there any point in life, kind of like how Megamind's like, let's start with Ananiel after we left, right? Like, let's start there. Is there anywhere you want to try to start?
I don't know. I think mostly my concern is I want to find out more about his relationship with Michael, I want to know what he's been telling Michael to keep him under his thumb.
You mean
Raphael?
Oh, Raphael,
Yeah,
sorry.
what Michael's been telling Raphael
Yes.
to keep Raphael under his thumb.
Okay.
Like,
I think-
can I how he came to power, how that all shakes down.
Okay. Yeah, trying to look more into Michael's authority and power. You feel Tooth put you in the memory. You see vastness. The universe itself, all of creation laid out before your feet. Time is both beginning and ending in this moment, and you realize you watch a creature being created as you see Michael's creation, his first memory, the first creature. Zepham creates Michael, and you see this conversation begin, and you understand enough, thanks to Tooth, as Zepham calls Michael, Michael, my first, you are Angel, and Angel is a servant of heaven. You serve the holy plan, and you serve the God and primordial of creation. And you see Michael is imbued with purpose. You see his eyes fiery white, alight with joy as he is given direction, he is given purpose, and he is given sentience. As he goes through, you see Michael is placed. Michael, you shall be leader of the hosts of heaven. You shall lead the armies. Because you watch behind Michael, appearing like flames, alighting candles off in the distance. Angels, thousands of angels, hundreds of thousands, millions are created. You see close at hand, there are 6 others. You see Gabriel, the 2nd. Raphael, the 3rd. Uriel, the 4th. Seraphiel, the 5th. Zadkiel, the 6th. And you see Lucifer, the 7th. Beyond them, you see multiple angels, one of which, far off, you see Ananiel. Ananiel was never an original seraphim, but he was of the hosts. And as they are created, they are being created infinitely outwards, these millions upon millions of angels. And you see Zepham turns to Michael. Michael, you are my right hand. You will lead forth my plan, no matter what. And you hear that order. And I think right now, kind of passively, Jim, that's, again, angels work on orders. That was his first order, to be the right hand and to enact Zepham's plan no matter what. And so you see the memories continue. You see Michael imbibing this order, creating his existence and self-worth, until, like you wanted to, you see a little bit of Raphael here. You see Raphael's power. Raphael quickly became the strongest, the warrior, the general. And you see Michael meeting, brother. Raphael turns, well met, Michael. And Michael turns, you shall be the general of the hosts. You shall await, and you shall become the sword of heaven. And you see, Raphael just goes, I shall be the sword, and I shall lead. You see, Michael goes, you shall not lead, brother, but you shall defend, protect, avenge, destroy, and create. And you don't see any, like, true evil or malice in this word, but you do notice Michael took pleasure in that statement. Michael took pleasure in this order. And you watch Michael start giving more orders, fulfilling his measure, fulfilling a chance to direct the host and being the figurehead, the pin of heaven. Michael moves through each of the hosts of heaven, giving orders, never micromanaging. Again, the angels, you see them divided into garrisons, legions. The layers of the celestial planes are created as Zepham creates heaven and earth, until eventually Michael stands. He is overlooking Dramor, right? And you see the continents in their earliest forms, this Pangea kind of continent before they spread. And you see Zepham, or what you could assume to be the figure of Zepham, stand nearby. Michael turns. Father, this world is wonderful. and it will be wonderful as long as you reign. But you hear Zepham go, Michael, this world is bound in destruction. See that the world will be destroyed and that my plan will enact. And you see the plan laid forth, this plan of the creation of a race Nephilim, or First Ones. You see Michael has a twinge in his eye as Seraphiel is named to sire the First Ones. And you see Adam and Eve being brought forth, but Michael leads. You see the messenger is marked forth, and Gabriel is marked as messenger, and given the moon to watch over a celestial body ever to guide and watch. And there is a twinge, as Michael is not given the moon, but he is leader, and he leads. And you see the plan lead forth until its destruction. And Michael steps forward. Father, the world is to be destroyed. This is your goal. And you hear Zepham, it is what shall be. Chaos will be sown. And you see Michael actually, he's not disobeying an order, but you see Michael does speak here and goes, Father, but your creations are perfect. It is chaos that creates destruction and evil. Your creations are good and perfect. Should we not only ask for your input and power in this world? And you realize he's implying the other three primordials: chaos, war, and death. Zepham speaks, and you will not understand this language. It is primordial. But Michael is suddenly scolded. You see true guilt rack his face as Zepham tells off Michael. And in this moment, Jim Lake Jr., you feel your connection starting to fade. You feel Tooth might need to pull you out. But is there anything you want to look for before you go, try to understand before you leave, or even try to stay and see more?
I am so curious about how Michael kind of takes over once Zepham is gone, like how that power play happens. So I'd love to stay and see if that maybe happens here or later.
Go ahead, give me a Constitution saving throw. You have advantage, as this whole time, Dragon's been here. The most, like, copy and paste JPEG in the background of, and by the way, there's a dragon.
Okay, that's a 12 and a 13. Not great.
It's not great.
Yep.
Dude.
Yikes!
That rocked.
Jim and Dragon as
sitting on that one.
I know you've been sitting on that. I saw the emote. Like, I can see when you add these in, and so I'm like, oh, great, all right, that's gonna come up. Jim, you do
the other
feel
one's gonna be obnoxious.
in this moment you are being drug away. As indeed, Michael's memories are powerful. But you get just that last when Zepham stops controlling. One of these last memories, as the plan is laid forth, Zepham turns to the hosts. Michael is the head of the hosts. See to it that this plan is fulfilled. You see all the hosts shout, Praise to the Lord. Servience to the Lord. Glory to him. And Michael steps forward is a broad term, but moves forward, alights with power, kind of grows. And Jim, you think in this moment, Michael begins to, for lack of a better word, run the show. As from the moment of creation, you know that other prophets were called, Zepham worked. Nicholas St. North was a saint of this, like, glorious Lord or being of creation. Like, he wasn't gone. But Michael has been a high-level CEO since day one. Zepham was there, but Michael was always here leading, actually doing the work.
Okay. Sorry, one
Yeah.
more quick question. Have I got the sense that he's been imbued with the power of destruction? Was that given to him, or is he just still his job the same?
Michael's job, you think, here, you know how we talked about this with your guys's, like, how do you get a deal out of Michael? Is the more specific the deal, the more easily broken it could become. The broader the command, the more loopholes, for lack of a better word. Michael, you guys kind of saw when Michael was given his seraphim wings. You saw that memory later on. But this Michael, again, the Michael with just the one set as he looks through, has been given the command to follow Zepham's plan. To keep Zepham's plan no matter what. And I think enough of, just as you a player, Michael has been running full tilt into the plan of, and it will be destroyed. This is what Zepham asked. This is my purpose, right? It's from the beginning, he was told this is what we're doing, and so Michael's been going this whole time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's see who we jump to next.
You listed 2 primordials. Zepham was one, and then you said the other 3, and you named Chaos and Death. You named the third one, or
Chaos?
Did I just not hear it?
Chaos, War, and Death.
Chaos, War, and Death.
Gotcha.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
No more. You're eating it.
Curious who War is, because I know Chaos is.
We cut to our, Jack Frost on a 2. We go to next to Raphael. Now, Jack, out of Raphael's memories, kind of like the question posed to the others, is there any specific spot you want to try to start to gain the most?
I think I'm specifically looking for moments that would serve as kindling to help Raphael remember, like, who he is, like who he was meant to be. And also, as Lincoln, I want to point out, I know these aren't like devil deals, but before Zepham gave the order to execute the plan, he did say that Michael's purpose was to serve the primordial of creation, and we have the essence of that primordial with us. So it's not a devil deal where we can just like be like, haha, we have it, so we're in control of you. But it is something worth noting.
Yes, it is something worth noting.
Before that first order, he did say, serve this essence, and we have the essence.
And here's what's really fun, though. Unfortunately, as the Peacekeepers had to discover in one of their sessions, Michael and Gabriel now share the essence. It's, again, Gabriel didn't lose it, but long story short, there was a really unfortunate set of bad rolls, Nat 2s and Nat 1s, where one of the Chosen tried to get Gabriel to just full tilt absorb and become a primordial. Michael discovered this plan, and Michael, Gabriel both tried to absorb at the same time. Michael got 2/3 of the primordial essence, and Gabriel got 1/3. It means Michael is not a true primordial and can't break his own oaths to anyone, but it does mean Gabriel's not. And again, it's not like, even though I keep saying 2/3, everyone goes, oh no, 2/3. It's more, that's the actual percentage I rolled on the die. The fact that Gabriel got any means that Michael does not hold every. If that makes sense. It's like, it's both 2/3 and also half. There's no way to like all or nothing this is really how the primordial essence works. But that is something interesting to point out of, but yes, you did cleverly catch one of Michael's first ever essence is to serve the primordial of creation, and that essence is kind of in a couple places. So we'll see. You want to look into Raphael. We cut then in these memories, and here's what's crazy, into a war. You see destruction everywhere. Demonic creatures what we know as demons, but in this time period they were shapeless, formless. Nothing had given them shape or purpose yet. These are simply forces of darkness and evil. And you see Raphael cutting through them all with ease. His seraphim blade now at his side, destroying these legions of darkness, shapeless entities, the idea of pure infernal and evil abyssal energy cutting away from the areas of Dremor. And Raphael is doing it with ease. You see he's smiling. He's not taking pleasure in the destruction, but you see he is taking true enjoyment in fulfilling his measure. He is the sword. He is the general, the warrior. Raphael turns, and you watch as he drives back the forces of darkness. Off in the distance, the sun, this giant star of the sky, burns, and Raphael kind of breathes in a lot of that solar energy, one could say, as we come out of this viewed initiative. Again, it was not true initiative, but viewed. And you hear, "Well done, brother." And you see Michael. Raphael turns, "I am a servant of heaven, and it is finished." Michael smiles, "You protect our world, and it is good. I come with message of Father." And you see something in Michael's eyes just for a moment. "You are charged with the creation of powerful creatures to serve heaven." And Raphael even gets that confused look. "I am the warrior. I am not a creator." And Michael smiles. "Father has asked we all create as directed. You are to create." And you see Michael's trying to find the right word. People. People that are not corrupted, like, and you see he stops, again, trying not to say the wrong word. People that can become servants of the light. You see Raphael, "It shall be done." And you see Raphael creating what we know as Raphaniel 6. Raphaniel 6, a planet of the children of Raphael, over centuries and millennia, planets in the galaxy, and you see these other planets and realize these are angelic projects, both Zephim and the other angels that create these planets under the direction of Zephim. You don't think Michael was in any way lying, but these planets of people and powers. And you see Raphaniel 6, and Raphael in his creation turns to a nearby planet. And Raphael says, "It is good, well, I don't like being alone. And as he stretches forth his powers, you see he imbues, almost like RJ earlier, a wish, a singular desire. They would be wise, smart, not fighters, but thinkers, people of intelligence, people of great drive to create, not warriors. Yeah, these are good people. Well, people are smart, so they've got big heads when they're smart. And you see he looks down. I don't know. I do a lot of red, the suns and yellows. Blue. Bloop. And all of their skins becomes blue all over. Yeah, blue.
Let's go.
And you see he creates Megamind's people. And you see he goes, "All right, you," and he points, and you realize again, he is standing out in space looking at these giant celestial bodies. He points at Raphaniel 6. "All right, you're my kids. You stay here. But, we'll call you, okay, I can't call you Raphaniel 5. You're not, well, I guess you are. And you realize Raphael's not like, it's not that he's not intelligent, but he is creating something. As he goes, you're blue, you're You're smart. You shall be known as Blue Thinkies. Yeah. As, guess what, Shane? Your canonical name is Blue Thinkies. That is your race. Yeah! I've been sitting on that for a year and a half.
Only in fucking Dreamworks.
Blue
Can I
Thinkies.
try to? I know this is more of like a watching or recording, but can I just in this moment of shame just try to like whisper to him and be like, Mega Minds. Call them Mega Minds.
I will say, because it's hilarious, if you hit a 19 or 20 on a luck check, it's got to be high. It's just...
I won't ask for Dragon to help because he's not here with
He is not here, unfortunately.
Would you take a 17?
A 17 is so close. You see, you whisper.
Can I cast guidance at all?
You're not here. You're in the other one. You see.
Bummer.
Also, I made this lore a year and a half ago. It's hilarious. But the technical name of this planet is Bluefinkies. But of course, that is not what they called themselves. That's a different name. Their true name is Bluefinkies. But yeah, you see.
Over the course of millennia, you're known as Bluffinkies.
Bluffingkins. Yeah, right. It's like as etymology and language change, it becomes. But you see, Raphael create these planets, his little corner of the galaxy. But even as he creates, Michael appears. Brother, you have been called. The forces of evil have returned, and we immediately flash back into his memories, and he goes back to work. And Jack, you see, Raphael leads then a very sad life. He is either destroying evil or waiting for a mission. And one of the few times he ever acted as an angel or servant of heaven outside of these capacities was the creation of Raphaniel 6, which was named before him, right? The idea of, well, here's where we're going to put the children of the Nephilim of Raphael, and the Bluefinkies, which were his passion project, one could say. Everything he's not. Smart, intelligent, creative. But you see, as Raphael sits, I'll let you know, you feel Tooth pulling you away. You get the feeling, because there's not going to be much more. Until Lucifer rebels, until the Holy War begins, this civil war, one might even call it, Raphael, all he does is fight and then wait. Do you want to try to stay and hold out for another memory? Or do you want to try to maybe gain some last looks, what we would say, on what you've seen?
I mean, I'm just trying to think, based off of my vision of Raphael, or when he visited me, and I was able to see him, did it look like he had any, like, the thought that Lincoln is having right now is, like, maybe he has, like, a physical item on him that's causing this curse, we'll call it.
Yeah.
So, like, is there anything in my memory of meeting him in modern day that he had that he didn't have on him in this memory?
We're going to call this, it's a really cool, it's going to be investigation, but it's like, from what I barely got and from what I see now, what's the discrepancy? Go for it.
Okay, wonderful. You said investigation. Could it be perception instead?
Because you have advantage, I'll allow it.
And because I don't have a negative stat to it.
I know, right? It's like, hey,
Also,
this would be great.
Does he just not know that any of this happened to the two planets that he made? He might.
Okay.
He just might not know that Michael blew both of them up.
That is a
Yeah.
19 on the higher of the two. Jack, you remember... Again, you didn't even truly see all of Raphael when he was speaking with you. You got those, like, kind of, again, after image imprints in your mind as he was speaking. But you do remember, Raphael had this glorious silvery white suit of armor on. And in this memory, he's not wearing a suit. He is just wearing the simple cloth and sword at his side that all the angels have.
Armor's a trap.
The armor might be a trap. But as you get that last little bit of that's something that's big, Jack, we cut away as Tooth helps safely pull you out. And of course, we finally come to Puss in Boots and RJ. You two are looking into the memory of Lucifer. Now, what I will ask for you two, of course, is that you have a chance here. There are two of them going into the memory, right? Like, everyone else had one. This is RJ and Puss in Boots. You could both choose the same memory, which would allow you to help each other, right? Like, help actions, guidance, because, you know, you're both there. Or if you want to cover ground, you might be able to choose different memories, right? Like, the idea of you go left, I go right. So, for you guys, where do you want to go?
Puss and Boots, you got an idea?
I think she had to reconnect.
Dang, I'm gonna be real honest. My Wi-Fi cut out.
Oh, you're good. It's
that's
basically...
It's our turn.
It's your turn, and you guys could both choose the same memory, allowing you both to help action, guidance, do all the stuff with each other. Or you could say, like, hey, do you want this portion of memory, and I go somewhere else?
I feel like Puss would want to stay together, and Elle thinks it's smarter to buff each other as we go.
Yeah. All right.
Hey.
Okay.
Well, there's always the idea of after I stole the feather from him, I mean, we could figure out maybe what he did next.
Yeah. Kind of like what Megamind did with Ananiel, of when we left, what happened.
Because we kind of did incite some thoughts of rebellion there, potentially, maybe.
Yeah. Cool. If you want to, we can cut to...
Let's start there.
After these wings were changed, Puss in Boots and RJ, you see Lucifer. Radiant, beautiful, standing above Dremor as he's crouching. Again, the idea of you're crouching in space doesn't really exist, but he was looking at eye level of something small. And as he stands, you see him... Oh. Well, that hurt. And you see a missing feather that is quickly ruffled and fitted where it kind of closes the gap. But you see Lucifer stop. So it does work. Yeah, I gotta get some advice. And you see Lucifer fly, and the memory shifts as he alights next to a woman. Now, woman's an odd word. You can tell even through this memory, she is pulsating with magic and power. The same kind of energy that a primordial exudes. But you know, this is on Dremor. As Lucifer goes, "That's my favorite aunt." And the woman turns, and black raven hair, eyes that swirl in purple light. Lucifer. And Lucifer hugs his aunt Eris, the primordial of chaos.
Woo.
You see he hugs her.
Love that.
"I have had another vision." And she goes, "Have you? Tell me of this vision." And you see Lucifer goes, "Well, it was like the others. I saw creatures. Sentient, like you and I. But different. You know? One of them was blue. I didn't know they could come in blue. One of them was small, furry. It smelled like bad things rot and decay. Another one, well, it was different. It was furry, but it was kind of like, well, Uncle Mafia. But that's ridiculous." And you see Eris, or Rixiel, goes, "Of course." "But how did it make you feel, Lucifer?" You see Lucifer,
He's going to therapy.
"Well, I really felt like what I've told you before. Father's plan is perfect. Yes, it is. And it could include safety? You see Eris gets this wicked little grin that she hides and goes, safety from what? Lucifer, I don't know. Listen, I'm just saying, Father wants what? You, Father, and your and uncles have decided the world's to be destroyed, but could we not take a portion? Could we not save a little bit? We can't simply leave it all. Then why? Why did we create if just to destroy? Eris doesn't say anything. You see she kind of just stays silent and goes, it is what we, the primordials, need to happen. And she kind of does that thing where suddenly you realize you've been staring at the after image of her form. It has already spread through the cosmos, true chaos and ill. Lucifer kind of stops and just... But why am I seeing these creatures? As he kind of grabs the side of his head. They must be more. They must be. Why are they just here? There's something I'm not getting. And they look and breathe and talk and they're in my head. I can sense they could do amazing things. Feats. And you see, he has a moment and a shadow crosses his face. They could be godly. They could be celestial. As he straightens up, he flies quickly. And you see he's at a tree with a cherubim and flaming sword. The cherubim nods. Lord Lucifer, hi, Seraphim. And Lucifer goes, Azrael, it's great to see you. I need a favor. And Azrael, of course, my friend. You see Lucifer goes, do you mind if I'm not going to touch. And you see Azrael, none shall touch the tree of good and evil. And you see Lucifer, I know, none shall touch. Father was very specific. Hey, between you and me, can I watch the tree for a while? I just need to get something out of my head. You see Azrael, this cherubim, of course. He vanishes in flame and sword. Lucifer, oh boy, okay. None shall touch the tree, none shall touch the tree. And Lucifer is circling the tree, and it has wild eyes, like someone who is just burning with anticipation. None shall touch the tree, none shall touch, none. I am one, I am not none. None shall touch the tree. None shall touch the tree. And you see Lucifer looks scared. He runs his hands through his hair. None shall touch this tree. This tree has been protected by Father and flaming sword and cherubim, but... And he looks at his hand, and you watch he looks from his hand to one of the pieces of fruit. None shall touch the tree. But the fruit of a tree is its own fruit. And you watch Lucifer reaches up to touch the fruit, and you see panic, fear, anxiety. You realize he is not sure what's about to happen. A simple act, a simple touch, a simple disobedient act, but it's not disobedience. It's just not spoken. His fingers touch the fruit, and he flinches, his eyes close, but nothing happens. Slowly, he plucks, very careful not to touch the tree. As Lucifer holds this fruit, the light still softly glowing, Lucifer... None touched. It's not... No one touched it. I didn't touch it. And if I didn't touch the tree, could these visions not touch the tree themselves? Could they not touch the tree? They aren't touching the tree, they are eating of the tree. And if they eat of the knowledge, they gain celestial radiance. And Lucifer, and it's a little unnerving, RJ and Puss, he looks, and you swear he's looking at you, and just realize, no, he's looking beyond. They could gain choice. They would not be simple creatures. They would be like the gods. He covers his mouth. You watch, he stows this piece of fruit. As, whoom, Azrael the cherubim, I have returned. Yep, to guard the tree. None touch the tree. And you see he smiles a little bit. No one will touch this tree. Will they? And in this moment, RJ and Puss, you feel the connection slipping. You might be able to stay and look at more memories, or you might try to glean some insight on what you've seen. Do you want to try to stay? Do you want to get some insight? Or what do you guys want to try to do?
Well, I'll allow Elle to go first.
Okay.
I was thinking we try to stay.
Okay.
We could give help actions and guidance.
Cool. Well, let's stick around.
Okay. Both of you go ahead and make me Constitution saving throws. And you're both helping each other. So it's an odd, you both have advantage. I know it's not technically how it works, but it is the idea of you did choose to stay together. So both are making con saves to stay.
Bruh.
Oh no.
You got a 0?
Bruh.
With
I
advantage.
got a 14 with advantage.
14 with advantage. This is wild. RJ, you push your consciousness. Try to help Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots, go ahead and roll me a guidance. I think is the only thing that might keep you here. Otherwise, you are both about to leave.
That makes it a 16.
It's not enough, unfortunately.
Dang.
RJ and Puss in Boots,
Bummer.
the last memory you see is Lucifer smiling. Some plan in his eye, something that could change. And you all alight back into your bodies. You know you are back out of the memories. And I will say you all look down. The edges of your arms and legs have started to not truly dissolve, but you watch as they kind of fade back, right? Color returning, life returning. And you see Tooth gives a big, oh, okay, you're back. Oh, and she almost falls out. You see EB immediately gives her that paw to help her up. Okay, oh, that took a lot. You guys were, oh, but you're back. All of you are back together in the North Pole.
Cool. I think all of us would kind of start data dumping, right? We'd all synthesize.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. From all of that, then, I think the first thought that came to my head is, with what Jim has learned and with what I have learned, I think we have a chance of getting into Raphael's head. And my thought is, I don't know if they dream, but if Celestials dream, we could have Sandy bring us in, and feed him info that way. That's just my thought of how I could do it. Also, could you spell Amathiel?
Oh, yes, I will send in the chat right now. You have Zepham, you have Rixiel, which is Eris, you have Casemiel, which was the third, and finally Mothiel. Kind of like Mothiel are the 4 names.
Oh. And sorry, I'm just having fun with all of this lore dump. Would it be correct to assume that Mothiel is the wolf, is death?
Correct.
Cool. Did we know his name beforehand?
I think, I don't think this party knew the name of Mothiel.
Okay, cool. I don't think names necessarily have like magical power like some other campaigns might, but it's good to know his true name.
Yeah.
But we do know, well, Shane knows. Megamind doesn't really know the Chaos lady from Sinbad.
Eris, yeah, Aunt Eris, Aunt Rixiel, the...
Yeah.
I will say, again, there's these ideas of you have a lot with Michael now that you could try to reach out to Raphael.
Ooh.
That might be some plans there. Yeah.
Tooth has my teeth, right?
Tooth, actually, I think because Jack also wanted to, like, oh, Tooth, my teeth. Tooth is looking really sad right now.
I mean,
As she
I'm not
looks...
gonna burn right now, but...
Well, you see, she goes, so you're aware, we've yet... My palace is still under Pitch's control. I hid a lot in there. I can't help you guys with your memories until we get that back. And there's a lot of ill creature there.
Interesting.
Do
If
I have
we
a
could
little-
do... Sorry, what?
No, I was just gonna move away from the conversation. To do, yeah, we'll come back to me in a minute. You ask your question.
Oh, I was gonna say, all of the Chicken Run chickens had teeth.
The chickens from
what if-
Chicken Run, I know that technically the animation gave them teeth. I am ruling that chickens don't have teeth.
Oh,
Birds don't have teeth, gang. They have
but they're
barbs.
chicken-born.
Geese have barbs. Chicken-born are more anthropomorphic, but it's still a beak. I'm not giving the chicken-born teeth.
I
They
was
do
gonna
milk,
try
though.
and pull another Easter.
I know. I thought that one through long ago and went, chickens don't have teeth.
But what I will do, since we can't help Tooth in a major way, I think I go to... Presumably I would have a room here that's, like...
Yeah.
Has, like, stuff in it, a couple of spare changes of clothes. I think I'm gonna find, like, an old pair of boots, of my boots, and put those on.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring Tooth the winged boots. And just say, like, you know, you might need to resize them, but, you know...
I'm gonna
you
make a
need this-
roll. Go ahead and give me an insight check on Tooth right now.
It's a 7.
7. Jack, she has a look in her eyes you can't really gauge. But you see she goes, thank you. This means a lot.
You won't need them for long, but, you know, in the meantime.
You turn to go, and before you do, faster a little bit than you can think, Tooth rushes up and kisses you. And then stops, I'm sorry, and runs.
Ooh, milady.
Milady. I will say, one of the last things we'll do before we end tonight, I did realize it is 10. As you all have these wings, have these powers and memories now to look at, before you're all sitting there about to finish it. And I will say, you will all get a long rest before next time. But you see a portal open up, swirling silvery and red light. Gabriel steps through. Union members, I was asked if you are joining the fight in Far, Far Away. Do you need a lift, as they say?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Sure. Let me grab my coat.
You grab your coat, and I will say, Shane, I do have the stats for your coat. D&D
Okay,
Beyond.
I was gonna ask.
D&D Beyond won't let me upload what I want the coat to do, and I've been workshopping it for weeks trying to get the stats to actually work the way they're supposed to. It's been
For a hot minute, I thought it was just a cool aesthetic thing, and I was like,
It's
"Oh, that's
not.
a major bummer."
I
I went through all
made
that trouble
a-
of
I
getting
made
the
a
cool
real-
demon cloak.
It's a cool cloak, and I swear it does stuff, but every time D&D Beyond's like, sure, you can type it, we're not going to let you mechanically apply these. I'm like, let me apply it. I promise you have the cloak. And again, before next time, everyone gets a gift from Santa Claus, because Christmas in July, you know it. Gabriel leads you through a portal to help free Far, Far Away in a fun little one-shot. And that is where we're going to end our session for this evening. Thank you all so very much for playing. Thank you all for listening, and I cannot wait to see you all next time. Bye-bye.